Welcome, everyone, to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament Grand Finals match. Match 1 between brianwilliams42 and Thilotilo. I am Aaron TU2. Commentator along with me is Elmore St. James. Hello, Elmore.
Hello, Aaron. How's everyone doing tonight?
Well, I think I speak for chat and say we're pretty hyped. This is a very great matchup for this finals of the entire tournament. And I think at one point I had counted how many matches there were, but we've had over 200 matches, I believe, leading us here.
Absolutely incredible. Huge tournament, great turnout of excellent players. And these two are the best of the best. And I cannot wait to see what kind of action they bring.
Absolutely. And you see the records here that might seem kind of interesting considering how far we've went, unequal amounts. Just to kind of go over where we were, Brian went 4-1 in the Swiss rounds, beat Centroid 41, beat Diabetes the second, lost the Big Slamu, and then wins over Tristal and the Seawolf, and then, entered the tournament. And Thilotilo went 3-2 in the Swiss rounds, wins over Arn Poli, Giannis Zeal, and Guel 35, but also lost to Sinest Cardinality and the Seawolf won. And then they both made the tournament, and, going from there, this is where we are now.
Yeah, and the brackets definitely had some excitement early on. So I believe it was Thilotilo who had to beat the Cinderellas who beat Nest Cardinality in the first round of the tournament. How'd that one go?
That was what I believe is the tournament's first ever YOLO Hurtmore casting to beat the Dragon Lord. That was the only chance to win, 1 out of 16, and got it to move on. And in some sense, you could call him the Cinderella, but you could call a whole bunch of people in this tournament Cinderellas.
And honestly, I think at this point there's not a Cinderella in this tournament. Everyone was excellent. Everyone had to do incredibly well to get to where they were. We do have some new players this tournament, and a surprising number of new players in the bracket stage. New players to DWR, but not necessarily new players to randomizers in general.
Yes, if you look at just them, we had 4 people in the tournament who went 6-6. Our play-ins in the tournament managed to go 10-9. And just overall, it's been a lot of craziness. But we have started and we are underway. Looking at the chest that we got here already, Thilotilo has a cursed belt. And then we have a torch. And the last chest is going to be gold, of course. Or excuse me, a key.
If there was a no key flag on the seat, it would be gold. But it is a key. It's going to allow them access out of here. No pair of wings or return spell to get them out without any... without having a second key. And so low strength to start with, but with that torch, if they come across an enemy that dies to a 6-9 damage throw, could take it out pretty much with one hit. Opting to just swing down on the ghost, a decent amount of HP should be able to take this one.
Right, and 8 attack power does let them, I believe, get reliable damage on a ghost, 1-2, nothing dramatic, but it does give Thilotilo the chance here to finish that off, and that will almost give him the level if he's able to finish it up.
And with 4 HP left, he is. Or correction, I'm looking at brianwilliams42 side. He's the one leveling up. So he got the ghost after the slime, I believe, to begin with. Was that a... Yeah, we got heal and repel with level 2, along with a little bit of stats.
The heal will let them get through the swamp a bit, but no strength, which is the one that you really, really, really want here at the beginning. So you can get out of the swamp, but I don't know, still nothing else additional you can fight.
No, I'm not sure if the time spent getting through the swamp is exactly worth it. If you find a town, you don't really have much to sell or to buy. You do have the cursed belt, so you can get maybe a copper sword if you're in a town with an item shop. Sitting home by that Wolf Lord, as Thilotilo gets his level 2. We'll see if he, once he sees a heal spell, opts to try to walk out. And it looks like he may be.
Yeah, I think there'd be some temptation, especially with the low AP, to maybe find something to help. Brian Williams did see a cave. He actually saw 2 caves, but one of them was just at the bottom of the screen, and I think he'd have to walk a little while to get to it. So, but yeah, it looks like he's settling down to fight. Tilo is now taking his first adventure out through the swamp.
Yeah, there was a cave to the north, and so given where Tanagal Castle is, given the narrow passage that's required to get out through that swamp, it looks like we've got a choke point guarded by a red dragon, the Fun Police in action.
Yes, red dragons, you don't really want to see them anywhere near Tantagel, and unfortunately they are. And that means the zones are really going to be tricky. Now, Brian hasn't seen that yet. He did see a Wolf Lord, which was enough. Pretty much anything outside of the base enemies is too much for Brian right now. This Droll is too much for him right now. There's not much you can do except hope to run from everything.
Oh, wow. And thank you to Jeff17 for the gift sub. I'm not sure if you intended for it to go to me, but thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yes, bribing the commentator will get you nowhere, but we at RPG Limit Break, or me speaking for the people at RPG, I can't talk, never mind.
RPG Limit Break does thank you, and if my memory serves, everything that they do goes towards charity, so it's for a great cause. We saw a green dragon on brianwilliams42 side during his exploration, able to get away with only 18 agility, very nice.
And he is not terribly interested in the caves that he's seen. He's just going out, fortunately, Wizard. Another Charlock enemy. You're a sitting duck against any Charlock enemy right now. 18 agility isn't terrible at level 2, but it's not going to get you too far.
No, it's not. And Lord of the Synth in chat letting us know that all the proceeds go to Nami.
All right, there we go. I believe that it looked like Brian was thinking about going out and changed his mind, or just decided to take some damage to make it easier, or to give the enemies a little more of a sporting chance, or maybe he's hoping for a better zone, or maybe he's hoping for anything. Grinding in grass is not appealing. I think that's what's on his mind right now.
And it could be... So that's just on the other side of the swamp right there, where he found that red slime. So that may be the edge of the Zone 0, right around Tanagal. We did see a cave to the south. I'm not sure if we were able to get to it, but brianwilliams42 is able to get to this cave right here. It's Swamp North.
And this is also showing off. We do have a couple of special flags this seed. We have Permanent Torch and Scared Metals. So every metal slime will be running 25% of the time, regardless of strength. And Tilo hitting level 3.
Level 3 bringing some much needed strength for our runners, as well as a good chunk of HP. It's going to help them get through that swamp a little bit easier. And, a little bit of MP. It's only level 3, so the stats still have plenty of time to grow. Jay Cooper, Permanent Torch in Finals is unexpected. Yes and no. I think both of these runners are adept enough that they can dark walk pretty much anything. So the Permanent Torch is a great boon for the chat, so they can see where we are immediately and not have to worry about things.
Now we see Brian fighting the Scorpion. That's Scorpion with sleep is unpleasant. I was just thinking, with that strength boost that Tilo has, he can fight the Scorpions now reasonably. But if they're going to put you to sleep and wail on you, that might not be the best. And yeah, he's not even able to get away from a Scorpion. Yikes.
Yeah, unlucky not being able to run away from a Scorpion right now. But even more unlucky to get slit right again. So it could be that they're 50% sleep. I think they can have 75% even if they don't have DL2 or Hurt More.
Yeah, even just sleep alone is generally the most dreaded thing that you see in these seeds, because there's nothing you can really do about it, except maybe stop spell them, but we don't have that yet.
Nope, what we do have is a slow, incremental, and gradual, but definitely positive trend in the experience category. It'll be really nice for everyone once they're out of this grass and they stop walking back and forth so much. But it seems like both of them have settled into that grind. Thilotilo reaching level 4 with 13 more power. So our first double-digit gain of the night. Unfortunately, the 3 other stats were only 1, 1, 1. But there is that stop spell we were talking about.
And it looks like Zone 1 is accessible in this area, so Tilo walks up, finds a skeleton. That's a very good enemy for where he is right now. He can heal through that, and only need to pop a couple of them to get to level 5.
Yeah, so skeletons worth 25 each, as you saw there. And hopefully if that's the majority of this zone, is enemies like that. Oh, yeah. I mean, Zone 1 obviously is only going to have the lower tier of mid-level enemies, your skeletons, your warlocks, things like that. But skeleton is definitely one of the better ones to find. Metal Scorpion would be really nice, too.
Yeah, even 29 strength could take down a Metal Scorpion. It'd be a little bit slow, but definitely possible. Brian getting level 3, and Tilo now hitting up level 5.
Level 5 bringing 2 more power, 1, 2, 9, and an additional spell or 2. Looks like we have, what, the Spell of Radiant?
Yeah, so we got 5 spells, heal. It's going to be necessary to get through that swamp, more or less. Not 100% necessary, but you won't be able to do anything without it. And Repel, useful for later. Radiant is useless because of Permatorch, unless somebody really wants to lag up the game a little, I guess.
Possibly. We do. It is. Radiant does cost 2 MP, so if they're right on the cusp of having enough heal mores later on in the game, that could make a difference in Charlock. So I think Permatorch does give a little bit of an edge in that regard, at least for chat who can see what they're doing. Not sure what just killed brianwilliams42, but he was right outside another cave, if I was looking correctly.
And that was a blue dragon. And yeah, we've seen the one cave, and it was North Swamp, which is mildly useful, but he's not a favorite to survive. If it were South Swamp, it'd be a lot more useful with that outside spell.
That it would be. And so in the chat, Lord of the Synth outing himself as the restreamer who did roll this seed, which is so far had a pretty good start to it. I don't want to.
I think it would depend on which character you're following right now, because Tilo is this grinding strat, just straight on grinding, is really rewarding him, whereas Brian Williams is still dying to a lot of random stuff and just struggling right now to get anywhere. And a lot of it, too, he's been fighting Magidrakes that have hurt more and Scorpions that have sleep, and neither of those are appealing targets right now. Tilo in this upper zone is, even when he's not fighting skeletons, the enemies are a little bit safer for him.
I don't think brianwilliams42 knows that Zone 1 is so accessible up here. We see one of the other enemies in this zone, the Druin. So far, I think I've seen skeletons, red slimes, and now the Druin.
To add a comment about the flag commentary in chat, there's a flag to eliminate spell flashing, but there is not a flag to eliminate all flashing, unfortunately. There's still swamp flashing, and although it's not too bad, and then overall damage, but it does affect some players. It makes them have to focus a little bit more when otherwise they might not be.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm one of those players that without the flashing, for some reason, the game doesn't look right to me while I'm playing it. I'm sure if I played enough without it, it would be just fine. And Thilotilo is now level 6. No strength, 7 agility, 1 hit points, and I didn't see the MP, but it was at least something.
At least something. Well, he's up to 48, and I think the last level was double digits, so this one is probably another double digit. And I was going to just say, I bet Schmeik knows, because he's usually an extremely high-level tracker for us. Very good. Thank you very much, Schmeik. And that comment about 4 minutes, I was thinking the same thing, Lorgon. I thought it was around about 7:40 when Tilo hit level 4, and that's where Brian Williams is now. Tilo is still sticking to this zone. This low hit points makes getting through that swamp bad. He knows that there's red dragons on the other side. And Joel's with the L2 breath. We needed another reason to not want to fight them, I guess.
Yeah, drolls that they will continue to run away from, most likely. For those of you who haven't seen a lot of this, drolls is one of the lowest return on investment enemies to fight, and you rarely see a runner fighting them unless they absolutely have to. Interesting to see, too, that even though he's got a large amount of strength and a pretty good amount of HP, he's still taking the time to kill those ghosts, which is, I think, might be a decent strategy right here, just because you know that there's not a whole lot out there to kill, and every little bit of experience will help. And it takes so long to walk on the grass that the time between encounters makes it, still a very good kill. Is able to get away from the fun police. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think he paused a little bit there and was just like, wow, I did it.
Yeah. And Stom in chat with an absolutely fantastic callback to the 80s. What was that, 90s? It was an old TV show.
See, anyway, Tilo is in the swamp cave. He is fighting the Wraith. I think he will eventually win this fight unless the Wraith has something unfortunate. He is out healing its attacks, and he does have quite a bit of MP. This is a pretty good, pretty good fight, or pretty good pickup for him right now. It's a 40-some experience.
And brianwilliams42 making his way up to what we know as the swamp cave. Oh, no, he's going another way. Oh, Warlock's a great enemy to find right here.
Yeah, they're one of the heavier experienced enemies in Zone 1, and they have the capability of using various abilities, but they generally, if they don't, then they're just easy to beat down.
Yeah, with 11 defense, it's still hitting fairly hard, but as you see with Tilo out-damaging this Wraith, the heal spell being effective, opts to run away. Doesn't quite have the strength to bring it down with... I think he may want to just explore a little bit more.
I think he wants to explore a lot more. He is... and there's that blue dragon again. If we look at the death totals between our two players, that's very much because Brian has been heavier on exploring than Tilo. This is the first serious attempt Tilo has made to get out of the beginning zone, and unfortunately, end here.
Heal more on the Warlock, and I believe heal on the Wraith. That's got to be just incredible. So both of our runners getting shut down at pretty much the same time in terms of, well, I guess I'm not getting this experience.
Yeah, this is it's been a pretty heavy ability seed so far. And that usually determines how crazy it is by how many abilities the enemies have. And it seems like almost everything has something.
It seems like it, which is actually very good for our runners because there's only a certain number of enemies that can have a special ability in any given seed. And so if you see a lot of the lower level enemies with, the DL2 breath and the sleeps and, God forbid, a wombo combo, it's less likely that a later game enemy will have it, making the later game just a little bit less difficult. Oh, is there no limit?
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard that before, so I don't know either way. Green dragons with hurt more, nice.
Green dragons with hurt more is actually kind of nice to see. Once they get Erdrick's armor, that hurt more won't deal too much damage. Of course, once they get Erdrick's armor, the swing won't deal too much damage either.
Right, we see Tilo going the other direction now. Finally got to see one of those wolf lords that I think Brian Williams had almost exclusively found. I don't think he's seen a red dragon yet. He's seen, a bunch of other bad stuff.
I believe they've both seen a red dragon. I know Thilotilo has because he was able to get away from that one. brianwilliams42, he got sent back initially, his very first exploration by a wolf lord, with Thilotilo being sent back by the fun police. Maybe he hasn't seen it yet.
And yeah, Tilo doing the smart move here, throwing out the stop spell to keep the Warlock from healing, and should be able to finish this one up. I think with his attack power and defense and everything, it's probably not a good idea to try to fight the Wolf Lords yet. But he's not that far away from that range.
And with Healmore, going to make it just a little bit easier in the back end since that Healmore won't land, wasting a turn, and you will get the 28 experience from this. 90 experience away from level 7 for Thilotilo. brianwilliams42 still lagging behind a little bit. Although he, with the stop spell, he's been able to kill a couple of warlocks, and he's doing pretty good over in this zone right here. Well, he was.
Yeah, whenever there's Sharlock enemies kind of surrounding Tantegel like this, it can get really ugly quickly. Just kind of locking down the seed and really rewarding luck in getting through, and then just being able to stay alive and not get sent back.
And did we see what this cave is yet?
I believe all we've seen is North Swamp, and hey, Stonemen have an ability too, although Weak Breath is probably better than their normal attack to hit, or to take.
Yeah, the punch more that they are bringing is definitely more than that Weak Breath. Oh, wow. Runs into a knight right outside of that cave, and is unfortunately sent home.
You got some good information out of that fight, though. Knight spamming stop spell, You could throw out a stop spell in advance to fight one of those, or, you just get strong enough and hope it doesn't hit you too much.
And also, you might just be looking for the Hurtmore spell, since they're a great Hurtmore target right now. A good number of Hurtmore targets out there on the overworld. We've seen the Green Dragons, we've seen the Knights, we've seen the Wolf Lords. Now, overall, not too bad.
Yeah, if you take out the Sharlock enemies, that's a pretty good zone. That's the problem, I suppose.
Yeah, there's also plenty of non-Hurtmoreable enemies on the overworld. Blue Dragons, Red Dragons, Stonemen. In fact, I think that might be the sum of, and Golems is the other one.
Yeah, let's just, they're not the best things to Hurtmore. We don't know when Hurtmore is coming. It could come at 7, so it could be 2 enemies away for Tilo. Or it could be coming, sometime in the next couple of hours.
And, next couple of hours. The way the seed is starting out, though, it looked discouraging at first, but now Brian Williams reaching level 6, almost on parity with Thilotilo, except for Thilotilo is one more enemy away from getting level 7.
Yeah, the experience gap has pretty much stayed even since Brian hit level 5 and got that big strength boost, or level 4. No, I guess that was 5. But yeah, at this point, I think he settled down a little bit. Maybe the Red Dragon wasn't exactly what he wanted to fight yet.
No, and if you hadn't seen it before, he sees it now and knows that it's there. Thilotilo, 22 power, 4 response speed, 0 agility, 33 MP at level 7. My goodness. So...
Yes, for those who might be curious, that means at 81 MP, he can cast the heal spell 27 times.
Wow. You did that math very fast. That 34 hit points is not what you'd like to see, though. The problem with 34 hit points right now is that Hurtmore kills them in one shot. Or can kill them one shot, I should say. The DL2 Breath obviously kills them one shot. Punchmore from a large number of these overworld enemies can kill them in one shot. So they have one chance to get away from some of these enemies, or else they're toast. And we do know that there's Sharlock enemies out here, and looking to send them home pretty quickly.
This fight that Brian Williams was in, he finally got away. I think that Green Dragon used Hurtmore like 5 or 6 times against the stop spell, and Brian just couldn't run.
And I think we're going to get our first look at Swamp South or grass. And here's a Metal Scorpion.
He must have something in mind, like he's trying to find a town. Okay, now he's attacking. I'm gonna say Metal Scorpion is a fairly good enemy. Of course, everything having abilities like...
Oh! Metal Scorpions with DL2 Breath. So I rescind what I said earlier about Metal Scorpions being a good find in Zone 1. They are not.
Yeah, so I guess if that first run would have been fine, then we wouldn't have known, and we could have been Like, why, Brian? Why are you skipping the metal scorpion? But it looks like he knew better. He shouldn't have listened to us.
And Tilo immediately going back to Swamp Cave now with his incredible amount of MP. Also, for those of you who may be wondering why MP on Tilotilo's side is now 81, the way the tracker is set up, when your stats are white, that means your stats are okay. When your stats turn orange, that means that is starting to reach where you may be able to take on the Dragon Lord. And once it reaches green, though that's usually a safe bet to take on the Dragon Lord unless there's some other stat that's holding you back. When the stats are orange, it's there's a seesaw between certain stats, high strength versus low MP, so you need fewer heal mores to get through the Dragon Lord fight. But first, before they even take on the Dragon Lord, they have to do a little bit of homework. So what our runners are trying to find right now is the Stones of Sunlight, Erdrick's Token, and the Silver Harp. Silver Harp you trade in for the Staff of Rain. Then you take the Staff of Rain, combine it with the Stones of Sunlight, which we all know makes rainbows. And so, as long as you have Erdrick's Token to prove you are of the lineage of Erdrick, the old man in what we call the Dirt Cave will give you the Rainbow Drop and allow you access to Charlotte Castle, where you will eventually defeat the Dragon Lord.
Well said. And in the meantime, we didn't really see a whole lot of progression. We got a few enemy kills by Brian and Tilo. I think Tilo just took out a Spectre, which looks like, well, I don't know. Maybe the desert wasn't quite what he was hoping for there.
No, the desert unfortunately has the highest encounter rate of the game at an average of 1 encounter every 8 steps. Well, that's actually a wrong way to say it. 1 in 8 chance of seeing an enemy every step. I know stats don't exactly work the way I think they do sometimes.
Red Spectre. Yeah, that's another way of putting it.
Red Dragon making...
Brian has made it to the cave, which is the Staff of Rain cave, which will be useful later, but is nothing for him right now.
No, but it's good to mark down, and it's fairly close to the castle, so easy to find once they get their Silver Harp, which is what they will use there to trade in for the Staff of Rain. Of note, the chest in there is one of 4 chests in the game that don't respawn, so you better... and it disappears if you leave the cave, so you better grab it before you go.
Yeah, and did he end up running from the Spectre? I know the thing was hitting really hard, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to take it out.
He took out the first one, I think. I was looking at the other side. Oh, Wraith Knight, unfortunately. As you can see, that 34 HP is not quite enough, and when you have enemies hitting you for as much as that, some enemies, if you get the back attack, you're done. Some enemies, if you run away, or you're unable to run away once or twice, it's done. 34 HP is hard to overcome. Actually, no, it's rather easy to overcome. That's the problem. It's easy for our enemies.
Exactly, and I think both of our players are trying to go out, they're trying to find something, and it's just not really working out. I think Tilo has found some decent enemies to fight, but just hasn't been able to stick to too much in a row. I don't know, honestly, that zone, even with the Red Dragon, just accepting that you're going to get killed 1 in 5 times might be better than what he was doing before.
Yeah, and you're not too far away from Tanagal Castle. The grass tiles, you don't get enough encounters to really make any grind worthwhile at their level. Could they go all the way to 600 experience there? Yes, absolutely. But it may be worthwhile in the end, averaged over. There's a Magiwyvern right here. Not really going to be able to take that on right now. They hit very hard. Surprisingly hard for what they are. Even Wyverns hit hard.
The Jerkbirds get their name for pretty much that reason. They surprise you with how hard they hit. Hey, Tilo's going after the Wraith. He fought this before, but I seem to think that they were the ones with heal more, right?
No, they have heal, if I remember right. Or maybe I saw him cast a heal and I associated that with the Spectre casting heal. Nope, Race do have heal. I thought he saw that the last time. I was surprised he didn't hit the stop spell. He does now.
Yeah, 75% chance to heal, so that's not really an enemy you want to just hope that they don't do that, because, I mean, half the time they're going to put you in red anyway if they decide not to attack, and then you're going to have to heal, and then they'll probably heal then anyway.
Yeah, but with that 75% heal, that means that last attack will probably be for free, since they're likely to cast heal like it does right now.
Well, yeah, I meant once you put the stop spell up. I was thinking, like, ratio of whether it's worth it to cast that or just keep, trying.
Oh, and he is exactly 42 experience away from level 8. Ah, Drakey not ruining the... Oh, and he's just going to walk out the south, I think. Which, I don't blame him. He's got a large amount of MP still. Plenty of map to explore.
And we'll see. Again, we know he's on the northern coast, and pretty much what you expect the moment you step out of the swamp cave is to get attacked by a Sharlock enemy. That just seems how it goes.
That's how it is, but I will say that once they get the Hurtmore spell, that's another one of those great enemies to run into. And Jay Cooper, I agree, this HP is incredibly crippling. I'm not saying this is the lowest HP seed we've seen at level 7, but it's getting there. And we see with Thilotilo's exploration, brianwilliams42 able to get level 7 is still about a whole level's worth of experience behind, although with the strength that he just got at level 7 combined with the MP, it could be pretty good. And he could start catching up quickly. Of course, Thilotilo was rapidly advancing his XP per minute with that strength, so he may just stay about this 1 XP level worth away, at least for a little. And yes, this will be a level for Thilotilo. Or no, yes. I can't do math. Power 6. Wow, still more power. 4, 3, and 2.
So, I mean, we got 3 hit points. That's not really going to change anything. This was kind of, I don't know. This is the point where the runner has to think, we have 600 experience. I get it 375 more. Am I going to keep doing this? Is the other guy, has he found something? Does he get through this Sharlock web that seems to be, around the headquarters? Do I just grind? Like, it's a very complicated decision because you're just worried what the other guy's done.
I mean, the only good thing I'll say is that it appears like Wolf Lords are in solid 3-shot territory, so they're a good target right now. So that's one more of the enemies in that wicked zone in the desert by Swamp Cave that you could grind if you want to. Thilotilo opting to continue the exploration. Did we see much past south and west of where Tilo is right now?
I see the thing Brian got taken out real quickly when he was here before. And now Tilo's found his own Staff of Rain Cave.
And he's probably going to go walk over the, I don't know, double bridge, triple stack Sparkover Island and head on over to the other side of that little... Oh, wait, no, I spoke too soon.
He had a shot there at the night, stop spell up, and if he was able to hit a few times, but that wasn't what he was trying to do. Honestly, 37 hit points, he won't get one shot by a knight, but you'd really have to hope that he just sits on that stop spell the entire time.
Yeah, unfortunately with the levels that they're at, they're not going to be able to take it down with their strength, and without the hurt spell, not really going to make it. Even if it's 75% stop spell and they cast it 5 times in a row, which we've already seen them do, that's going to be a tough cell to take down. Now, one cave to the south right there is just... I know it's just nagging probably both of our runners who have seen it, and one of the reasons why they keep going in this westward direction.
And here's the thing, from what we've seen, the other side of Swamp Cave is at the far north of the continent, so that cave is not through Swamp Cave down there. That means that to get to that, they do have to go around somehow, and so that has to be, because both of them have seen it, they might be thinking about that.
Yeah, I think likely keeping to the west, even if you have to go north a little bit and to go back around, that might be your best bet. And I've seen some pretty interesting continents before in this randomizer. It could be that you just have a straight shot down south out of the Swamp Cave north, or Swamp Cave South exit, and will eventually lead you over there as well. Although I think it's unlikely, given that it would have to bifurcate the other continent to get there at this point.
Yeah, Thilotilo did manage to get a stop spell up on the Wraith Knight. I think it took a couple of tries. Tried to fight it, wasn't able to out-heal its damage though. It would have been a good kill, a decent amount of experience. I think 72 experience at this level, but it still looks like starting HP is just too low.
Yeah, I mean at this point, Wraiths with 32 experience, or 42 experience, excuse me, Skeletons with 25, Warlocks with 28, Spectres with 52, 47. There's good, not quite as large experience gains out there, but they're much more readily killable enemies. And I'm wondering why they're not just going into Swamp Cave. Have we seen anything other than... What have we seen in there besides the Wraith?
Star Wyverns.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
And
Drakes.
To what Hate13 is saying in chat, I hope I said your name right, sorry. The way that the builds work, there's actually 4 different stat builds straight out, and it depends on the names, like you said. But so regardless of what their name is, pretty much the players know what those stat builds are going to be, and they both picked ones that were strength and HP, which is kind of the standard one.
Yeah, or strength HP seems to be the... Since you need both strength and HP to go after the Dragon Lord, and strength seems to be the largest determinant of when you can go, getting 10 more strength is absolutely massive, and having a strength build will give you that 10 strength pretty much over the course of the run, since 90-ish is when you're looking at ghost stats, so I guess 9 strength. If you get 10 more MP, you get 1 more hurt more, which will not overcome the deficit of losing 10 strength, if that makes sense. So the HP MP seed stat build is not very good. Strength agility sometimes seemed good, especially in some of the alternate flag sets we saw during the winter tournament. But I think strength HP still reigns supreme.
Well, you could make that argument just based on who managed to make the finals, but I remember, I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was Up to NG had made a comment that he had watched a list of matches and was determining which stat build was better. Because I think in his mind, as long as you have enough HP, you don't have to go an extra level, then strength agility is better. And I think he said, in his opinion, it was 75% to 80% that strength agility was better. But again, we look and see who's made it to the finals, and you have to weight it a little bit that direction.
I'm trying to think of a retort, but I don't really have anything that makes sense.
Of course, I'm just going off of what somebody else has said. I don't actually know. I have considered doing alternate builds myself. I am too afraid to do it.
Jay Coper saying, there's no strategic reason to use a name longer than one character. Very true, but there are very good meme reasons to have a name longer than one character. Or in the case of brianwilliams42, B. Brian Williams. I'm still not sure why Thilotilo goes with 6. I'm sure there's a story there somewhere.
Yeah, and just looking where we are right now, death counter is at 36, and we are just hitting 37 minutes. So we have slightly outpaced, or we're slightly under the 1 death a minute ratio right now. We haven't talked a lot about what runners are doing, because honestly, they're struggling to get much of anything. They're getting a little bit of experience here and there, but it's just mostly hoping to avoid red dragons and Sherlock enemies. And and not having a ton of success.
Yeah, and Zarnax42 pointing out in chat that there is a very good reason for that. And see, I would go with a very bad reason. Did we talk about this the last time we commentated? How it'd be funny one day to have like LOL be your name, so that when you die, like brianwilliams42 just did, it says, that should not have taken the LOL.
That would be a thing. I don't know. Maybe that would be an interesting consideration for somebody who, if we were doing a sort of non-competitive, or both players had used the same name, to go ahead and have a naming incentive for the characters. I don't know. Maybe that's something we could see in the what is that called again? The tournament that we are having here pretty soon, where the Dragon Warrior Randomizer is going to be in.
The Tournament of Hope? Is that what you're talking about?
I was thinking for Questing for Glory. Is that what it's called?
Oh, Questing for Glory. Sorry, I was getting that confused.
Yeah, sorry, it's been a while. I know that event is coming up reasonably soon. If there's somebody associated with it who wants to share that information in chat, that would be great. Because I know that that's something we want people to know. I believe 7 or 8 of our DWR community runners are in it, and we'll be racing in. I can't remember what the exact flags and setup is for it, but sorry, experience for 9 is 700 or 975. So Thilotilo is getting very close to it.
Yeah, still maintaining that roughly 1 experience lead over brianwilliams42. Although as the amount of experience it takes to get each level grows, I imagine that they will become closer to parity in terms of how close they are to the next level.
Yeah, it is just a situation right now where I feel like, where I imagine they're just accepting getting stomped on by some of these enemies, because there's not a whole lot you can do. I think Brian Williams had a chance to finish that one off, and then Wolf Lord dodged. It's just unfortunate.
It really is, and in chat, really waiting for the HP to come. Absolutely. This really is. Maybe level 9 will bring it. We do know that we had a really great strength gain in level 8. Maybe we'll see that same gain in HP in level 9. Correction, the strength gain came in level 7. So they've had a couple levels now where they've been needing the HP. 40 deaths in 40 minutes.
That's what we get. We talk about the death ratio, and then it leans one way and then immediately flips back the other. And hey, look, there's a red dragon. That's probably one more.
Oh, and hits him for 42. That's gotta hurt. Hits a little close to home. Yeah, 40 minutes in with nothing lit up. It's definitely a challenging seed. We're 40 minutes into the seed. We probably have a few people here who may have just joined us within the last few minutes. Early on in the run, Thilotilo found a small strip of land just north of Tanagal that, even though it was grass and had a very low encounter rate, it had a couple very enticing Zone 1 enemies, and he was able to get a quick grind in there and got to level, I believe, 6 rather quickly. Actually, level 7. And that's when he started his exploration in earnest. And he seems to be getting most of his experience in exploration right now. He goes south right here.
It looks like this might loop around. We might get to see what's in that cave we've been seeing the entire race. Meanwhile, Brian Williams is back into Swamp Cave, thinking about the Wyvern.
Wyvern, it's not hitting quite as hard as the Magi Wyverns and Star Wyverns, so not a terrible target. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Well, he hits pretty hard, but the Wyvern also hits pretty hard, and that's a bad ratio. Although we see Wizards now on Thilotilo's side throwing out the Weak Breath. That's, again, good to see. Generally, any high-level enemy with Weak Breath is good, because eventually that will be neutered to almost nothing, and they'll be a pretty easy target to fight.
And if their strength continues to gain, or they get a good weapon and some decent armor so they can take a little bit of a hit, those wizards may be a good target for them, since they don't need the hurt more to take them out. And oh no. Oh.
Yeah, Tilo's been getting somewhat lucky, and just the enemies he's been fighting. He hasn't been fighting any of them, just running and running. And they heal in the off chance that it throws out another hurt. Interesting.
Oh, it does. Heal up, throw out a stop spell, maybe. Oh, no.
I thought maybe he was doing that to get an extra attempt to run, but Star Wyverns hit real hard. It's a hard one.
Yeah, their punch more is surprising, given I don't see any arms.
Yeah, they had 37 hit points to max, and that's exactly what the Star Wyvern hit for. So that's got to be pretty gross.
Yeah, they are particularly difficult to run from. Beakmore, very nice. I guess they would aim for the eye with their beak or something.
And it looks like Tilo's going north. I think at this point he's looking at his experience and saying, level 9 has to have something. So let me just fight something real quick.
Blue Dragon wasn't exactly what he's looking for. He might be going to the Swamp Cave to see if there's another Druid there. Unfortunately, he's going to be going to the Swamp Cave by way of Tanagle Castle.
Yeah, which, maybe not. I thought maybe he was just going for a bit of a grind, but it looks like he's still trying to eat out a little bit. That's so close to that level, and the way things work in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, you can have a dud or you can have everything, and you just don't know until it happens.
brianwilliams42 going back to that zone that Thilotilo was in earlier, and has quickly closed the experience gap. Look at that, only 100 and change between the two now. And Thilotilo back up in the grass to get that last little bit of experience he needs to get to the next level.
Yeah, he's gonna fight the Druids and the, I believe, was it Scorpions were in here? On Skeletons.
Skeletons. Druids, Skeletons, Red Slimes, and Drolls, I believe, is what I've seen. Oh, and Scorpions too.
Chat noting that disappointment is a reoccurring theme with Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Not in itself, but you always have to manage those expectations. You're expecting something good to drop, it probably won't.
Yeah, maybe I can reverse curse the seed by saying how terrible some of the seeds have been earlier in the series. Is a reverse curse a bless?
I don't know. I would say at this point, even the hurt spell would be useful, because there's some enemies that would help against, even with the strength. I just, like, any spell would be good. He's 4 experience away now.
Red Slime will get you halfway there. I don't know if the hurt spell would help. It would help. Let's be honest. The hurt spell will allow you to hit some enemies harder than you would be able to swing. But unfortunately, those enemies are going to do a lot of damage to you in the process. And you still only have 37 HP. You still only have 19 defense. So unless HP goes up dramatically in this level, which is going to come right here, let's see what it is. Courage and Wit have served thee well. Promote to the next level. Power of 3, 8 hit points, and 1 MP, no spells. So 45 HP is actually a big level. Hurt more is not a guaranteed kill anymore. It gets you out of the punch more range of some of the higher tier enemies. It's not great, but it's better than the previous couple levels. Let's just say that.
Yes, that wasn't great. No. And now the next level 10 is at 1500, so we have another 500-ish experience on Tilo's side. This is, at this point, I would start being really angsty about sticking around home. I would be thinking about doing anything else. And Brian Williams, completely caught up now in experience, has actually taken the lead just slightly, thanks to all the grinding he's been doing up there in that desert.
Yeah, seems like the grinding did our runners both very well. It's just Thilotilo did his a little bit earlier, and Brian Williams did his a little bit later. But, I mean, we're essentially at parity right now. The only advantage Thilotilo has is he's been around the crescent or whatever to get where we think that cave might be, or at least the path to that cave. It looks like he's going right back there.
I think he might bolt left this time. Yeah, this is a direction he hasn't been. And considering we haven't explored a lot, but at some point you're going to find a lot of things all together. That seems to be how this works. If you don't find a lot at the beginning, and it's all together at the end.
Like a nice little Townsville with, Cantlin and Romualdar and Cole, and all right next to each other. Maybe a Garanham to throw things, just make it a little spicy.
This is fun, seeing fighting a Spectre straight up, fighting a Druin Lord straight up. These are both good enemies to fight at this experience level. So that concern about possibly drying up and not being able to do much might not be there. However, the Green Dragon on Tila's side isn't going to help much at all with hurt more. It's still basically a one-hit kill.
Oh. We have we have a town. Everyone, we have a town. And it is the town of Breckenary. Hey, we can get an item here at least. He can sell the curse belt, which hopefully he remembers he still has. Get a copper sword or a club in this case. A club and a small shield is something. Actually, he's got a decent amount of gold even without that curse belt.
Yeah, this is still the extent of his last grind, where he was able to get past quite a few of the what were they? The Sharlock enemies over there, and get through that swamp cave. So, but yeah, Breckenary is a town. It does have value, a lot of value right now since there's nothing else. Dragon Scale even very useful right now because the defense is still terrible.
Yeah, so that Dragon Scale, once you put it on, will give him an additional 2 defense in addition to the 4 defense granted by the small shield. So, that's something.
Yeah, it helps. I think we're just trying to think positively here. It's rare that the club makes a difference unless the difference is from like 8 to 10, or 8 to 12. So you might end up killing something with that those extra AP, but I don't know. You take what you can get at this point and just hope you keep finding more stuff, I guess. Tilo is on his way. Oh, no, it looks like he's not going that direction. Or is he? He's confusing us.
Oh, and brianwilliams42 gets his one shot at running away from the Red Dragon. He's able to make it and is now using his Thumpmore on the Wolf Lord. Thumpmore being the club.
Right. And now we see Goldman have sleep, because you needed another reason to not want to fight a Goldman.
And he is just loving these Wolf Lords, my goodness.
Yeah, if this is a consistent area, if he was able to just keep getting those, that might be a zone to stick in. And there we are back, dodging Breckenary, as one should.
Yeah, Breckenary is the fairy flute of towns. Sometimes useful.
It's like a gas station on the side of the road, on the highway of this town. Like, you see a gas station sign, be like, hey, cool, I need to get gas. And if you don't need to get gas, then there's no reason to go there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be rough for Tilo. I imagine he is just going magnet straight back there, and then he'll see that it's Breckenary without really a whole lot to buy. He does have enough money for the small shield, or the club. He might get somewhere along the way, but it has to be like just a huge beacon.
Curse belt. Well, actually, even with the curse belt, no, the curse belt will give him enough. It's at 60 plus 90 is 150. That's less than 150. He can get curse belt and a couple herbs. Ooh, curse belt and the dragon scale.
For fun, he could equip the curse belt and then just have the curse removed.
Easy. Yeah. Message in chat. Yes, curse belt does sell for 180. I keep saying curse belt. It just rolls off the tongue. Curse belt.
Yes, the belt that does nothing, unfortunately, except sell for gold, which is good. But yeah, I don't know. There's been some talk about trying to make it do something, but it'd be very difficult to balance that, especially when you already have a cursed item like the Death Necklace that's useful.
Yeah, and the fact that you have 3 of them in the seed as well, and you have a really good chance of finding them early on.
That's a very good point, Lorian. He does seem like that might be something he's doing right now, since he's just where he has been in the desert. And it would be a very easy thing to do. Actually having the wherewithal to think about it would be important.
Yeah, the Fun Police have a blockade just outside of Tanagal, and also one right around Breckenary. I don't know why they would have a blockade around Breckenary. Looks like Thilotilo's taking the long way around in hopes of avoiding that zone. Makes it through, and he's heading back there right now. We have a simultaneous swamp walk, actually almost nearly simultaneous until it was ruined by that Wraith. I don't think Brian Williams42 is mad about being ruined by the Wraith, though, as he's going to get 42 experience points closer to level 10. And he will likely have level 10 before Thilotilo.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the exploration we're talking about, that difference. The exploration is only something that you put in, the feather in your cap if it actually amounts to something. Like, this is an area I don't have to go to. I think a lot of Thilotilo's searches ended up not finding anything, but now he's found Breckenary.
Finds Breckenary, get his club. Oh, Thilotilo making me a liar.
Meanwhile, Brian Williams getting punished for trying to fight the metal slime.
Oh, metal slime.
With Hurtmore. Wonderful. And throws out the heal, throws out another heal. I think he's going to continue on this one. Oh, sleep and Hurtmore. Wonderful.
And then runs away. Another, in addition to the Permatorch, they also have a deviation in metal slimes from the standard tournament flag set. Normally we just have scaled, but they also have scared metal slimes on. Although the metal slimes would be scared right now anyways with 62 strength. That was worth noting. Oh, and immediately uses the Magiwombo on Brian Williams42. Spell is blocked by the stop spell. I guess he was throwing up the stop spell with the hopes that it wouldn't run away.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's the enemy he was here in this zone for, but it's really hard to just give up on a metal slime because the rewards are so big.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine that a metal slime would be scared with those abilities, but guess it is. 10 power, 1 agility, 11 hit points, 13 MP, no new spells, but another our first double-digit hit point gain. Huge. That's really nice. So right now, the only one shot that'll take out our runners is the DL2 breath, which we've only seen on a couple enemies so far.
And again, leave the Swamp Cave, immediately find a Sharlock enemy that gets away from the Axe Knight. Metal Scorpion, didn't he... Oh, he has enough strength now that, yeah, he can one-shot those things. Of course, if they get any sort of ambush or attack off, the DL2 breath that the Metal Scorpions have will not be pleasant.
Is this a really small second continent, or have we not seen the whole thing yet?
I keep thinking we haven't went east, or northwest. I think we went southwest, but I guess that can't be a whole lot north because it looks like we already had the northern wall right next to South Swamp Cave.
Yeah, the northern wall, to the west, I think it dead ends right past Breckenary, but I haven't seen much east. And chat saying it's small. I think it is. It's kind of might as well be empty with just Breckenary on it, right? Well, it's not empty with red dragons, that's for sure. We see that 25 defense doing its magic, only hitting for 32. Unfortunately, that's enough to send him back. And I don't think he's going to go back and try grinding that one area. It looked pretty good at first, but with the red dragons there, Now, Breckenary is just to the west of the exit of Swamp South.
Yeah, so it looks like both of them are over there just trying to get some enemies to fight. And yeah, Brian is giving up on that. He's heading west, past the Staff of Rain Cave. Tilo taking out Wolf Lords, which is winding up being a fairly good enemy. Not reliable. The 45 hit points, they can still out damage slightly. But maybe that small shield and club are just giving enough of an edge to make it worthwhile.
And not sure if he's grinding the Goldman for gold to possibly buy something in Brecconary. I wouldn't think so.
I mean, a large shield is a decent amount of defense, but that doesn't seem like the sort of thing you would purposely go after. I'm sure that just keeping any, like the amount of money they have is something you just want to keep even if you die. And have something in your wallet in case you die. When you come back, maybe you'll find the thing that we've all been looking for. So, running away from the knight, I wonder, 76 attack power against the knight, 39, it's still a pretty bad fight, I think.
Not with the defense they have. They won't be able to out-heal race it, so don't think it's worth it. What does seem to be worth it is where Thilotilo is. He's getting a fantastic grind going. Has surpassed brianwilliams42 with the experience lead. I think that's our 4th experience change of the seed, 5th.
And I think this zone is more than one allocation of Wolf Lords, because it seemed like Brian Williams was getting a bunch of them before too. And hey, it's our cave.
Oh, and it's tablet, exactly what our runners wanted to see. Not exactly what our runners wanted to see. Although it's free of enemy encounters, so they're not going to get sniped by a red dragon. And it could be something good. Given the nature of this seed thus far, this is probably Erdrick's armor.
I'm guessing Torch.
I was close, halfway there. So we found Erdrick's token in Tablet Cave.
So the best thing about finding Tablet Cave is that you already have outside, so you don't have to walk out.
Yup. And oh, there is a lot of stuff to explore over here. Path diverged right there. He's opting to go southeast.
Yeah, when in doubt, go wherever the swamp is. That's usually where the good stuff lies, right past the swamp.
Oh, and he is killing the Goldman. Actually, they are worth like 6 experience. That's something, right?
Well, looking at his gold, he might be thinking, I end up getting a couple of these. Well, now he has a large shield money. He has to expect that there's a town coming soon. Which,
yeah, large shield, half plate. Hand axe.
Dead end, unfortunately. So no town just beyond the swamp. Thank you, commentator Aaron, to you too for that.
And dead ends like that I like to see, though, because it's immediate. You don't have to go exploring some random section of the map. So the second continent was very small. They've been over a large portion of the map, but they don't have a lot unexplored in different directions right now.
Yeah, I think where Brian Williams is now, Tilo has been. He did not go the branch, or he didn't go to the swamp branch, and he did not go to the cave when he was down here before, but he did go into this exact area. So we'll see if he finds anything new, because if I remember right, Tilo died very close to where Brian is right now.
Yeah, I think these mountains were it. And I'm not sure what he died to, but hopefully he doesn't die and we see a town. I know he's thinking the same.
And, oh, he got away from the AK-47. That is some good luck. That is not what you wanted to see in that area. Although, maybe if you want to grind on them later. We haven't seen what they can do yet. They might be having some sort of debilitating ability.
And that club is able to crack through the armor of the Rogue Scorpion. And with that heal spell, it looks like he's going to be able to take it out and get himself a tasty... I'm blanking all of a sudden how much experience, but it's a lot.
I believe it is 90? No, 70.
70. Yes.
And I noticed Brian Williams threw the herb out there to try to make sure that he healed past the Rogue Scorpion's attack, because the heal spell's weaker than the herb. Managed to get the Rogue Scorpion down there. You know, we've been talking about the exploration because it's a little bit more exciting, but Thilotilo is knocking on the door of level 11 with his experience here.
Yeah, and once you have level... I was going to say once you have level 11. Once you have the spell of Hurt More, I think the seed is cracked fairly well wide open. There's a large number of Hurt Moreable enemies on the map. You're able to find a grind somewhere and get your HP to a good sufficient level. You'll be able to explore much more efficiently. You've got tons of MP, 97 MP. I mean, I'm not as good as math as you are, but I can tell that that's 19 Hurt Mores, which is a lot at level 10.
Yes, it's also 16 outsides if for some reason you needed to do that 16 times.
No.
So yeah, level 11, since we're nearing that right now, Tilo's fighting a Rogue Scorpion. Won't quite do it, but he's 2 Rogue Scorpions away if you wanted to frame it that way. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get a spell in chat? Do you think we'll get some actual hit points? Maybe the agility will wake up because it's been sleepy since the start of the seed.
I don't want to curse it by saying anything. I think Chad is very busy digging through Erdrick's closet. Or Erdrick's junk drawer.
Well, you can get some good deals at Erdrick's yard sale if you, go early.
Yeah, and you may get lucky and find his token there, and be able to prove you're of the lineage of Erdrick. I guess anyone could really find the token and prove you're of the lineage, right? It just happened to be you. Maybe you aren't even a... Oh, wow. Maybe the big joke is that you're not actually related to Erdrick, and you just happened to find the token because Old Man told you where it was.
I guess they decided that the only person that could possibly find it would be his descendant, because isn't it just in the vanilla and just in some random swamp?
It's in a fairly random swamp, although it's kind of dead center in the eastern portion of the swamp if you look at it from like a top view, which is how you look at this game. Erdrick subscription to Columbia House. Okay, now we're digging. That's pretty good. Although Tickle Me Erdrick is very good. As someone named Elmore, I may have heard that joke a lot in middle school.
So we did hit level 11 on Tilo's side. We kind of missed it, but the big prize was Heal More. A decent amount of agility, but we got Heal More. So it's not a whole lot you can do that with 57, but that increases that survivability against Rogue Scorpions and enemies that can hit harder than your heal spell by a lot.
And with 81 attack power, I mean, you can do damage against a lot of enemies.
I think he is completely dedicated to these Wolf Lords, though. When we saw Spectres in the Zone 2, which is another good enemy, these pre-Sharlock enemies, and I guess this would even be like maybe one step down from that, are proving to really kind of fuel Tilo right now. And even though there is a red dragon in the thing, maybe you get lucky.
Oh, wow. Immediately leaves, finds a Spectre. I mean, you're 2-3 shotting Spectres, they're not doing a whole lot of damage back to you. Not a terrible grind, although you have to go all the way to 3,000 for level 12.
And yes, so we normally do like a rundown about an hour in to kind of give newer people a frame of reference. And for chat, for anyone who is reasonably new, just so you know, we have found the Tablet Cave just recently where Brian Williams was able to get the token. We have found the Swamp Cave, through which the other side is Breckenary, which has 3 very cheap items, I think, and a large shield and a half plate, which might be where Tilo's going right now. Unfortunate to have an armored knight blocking the path. And we found the Staff of Rain Cave, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's been very much a slog, as I like to say. And a lot of it has to do with Sherlock enemies just kind of all over the place, really denying paths through. And until level 10, hit points were pretty much non-existent as well.
This is somewhere. So we found. So, I mean, the only thing that would have made this better is if the fairy flute was in Tablet Cave, because then you would have found the least important key item, the least important cave, and the least important town. I think that would have been the perfect seed to start off this finals match.
Yeah, but Thilotilo does get the half plate. Raises defense by quite a bit over the nothing that he had before. 16 points. Great pickup. Might help him survive an extra round against a Red Dragon or something that he's trying to run from over here.
And it will allow you to, because you have the Heal More spell, and can heal substantially more than you could previously, some of those earlier enemies that you couldn't take out, like the Knights, and even an Axe Knight probably right now is fair game. The Green Dragons, I think, would be totally doable.
The Green Dragons, if you throw up a stop spell and it actually hits, are. But hey, look, Brian Williams has found Hawksness and another town right next door, which appears to be Cole.
And immediately goes to the shop to check and see what he can't buy. And, wow.
With some leather armor there, probably not much use right now, but some things he might put a pin in. And underneath Cole, we find the Silver Harp, so another key item, important find. He knows where the Staff of Rain Cave is, so there's that.
There is that, and normally at this point, if I see Harp and Token and nothing else, I'm thinking, wow, looks like we're seeing the sword and armor in Charlock. But unfortunately, at an hour and 9 minutes into the seed, we still haven't seen Grave, we still haven't seen Mountain Cave, haven't seen Free Cave, haven't seen Garenham, haven't seen Tangible Treasury. We haven't seen a lot of chests outside of the opening 3. And yes. What was in Tablet?
Yes, we found 2 overworld chests, two checks outside of the original 3 and Tentagel, and they're both key items, so we still have pretty much everything left. The 5 in Mountain, the 5 in Grave, the 4 in Tentagel, the 3 in Garenham, and the Freestones Cave check, and the Rimmaldar check, amongst whatever I've missed.
So I had something to say there, and I can't remember now. But what I was going to say is earlier is so when brianwilliams42 found Hawksness, he didn't have the spell of Heal More, and he doesn't have half plate armor. Thilotilo has both of those. Also a little bit more strength, and there's a town next door that if he has there he is.
Yeah, I thought he was heading that direction. He definitely could do this, and he could beat these Wraith Knights too. The Wraith Knights are kind of weird and annoying because they have a little bit of everything defense. They're a little bit dodgy. They're a little bit, protective against various stuff. But they're still a very good enemy to kill. And I think that's what Tilo has on his mind right now.
Yeah, not gonna lie, if I ever saw a walking skeleton with a red tunic on purple pants, I'd probably call it dodgy as well. Only 551 gold. So, was there a broadsword in here? I think there was.
I believe so, yes.
I mean, that's probably the thing they're looking for the most. Full plate, not quite as useful since you already have the half plate.
Yeah, the full plate tends to be real good if armor's in Sherlock, even though magic armor's better, but you don't always know if you have a gold grind. And considering where our towns are, a gold grind isn't going to be ultra appealing.
No. Not with that red dragon gauntlet that you have to pass through to pretty much get outside of Tentagel Castle. Or the starting area, I should say. Gets his Silver Harp, and we pretty much have, on parity with, what's the word? Knowledge. Oh, he doesn't go to see what's in the spike tile. Interesting.
I'm not actually surprised. I think it would pretty much require an Axe Knight, and then the Axe Knights do something bizarre to have a chance at it. If he had Sleep, I think the options would go up. just because you could, alternate sleep, heal more, attack as necessary to possibly take out a Stoneman, but that's about it.
Oh, chat pointing out that Tila hasn't seen, or our expert tracker in chat pointing out that Tila hasn't seen Tablet Cave yet.
Oh, he's seen it. He just doesn't know that's what it is.
Yes, red dragons have more kills than... Actually, our runners have a large number of kills, so we shouldn't say that the red dragons have more kills than our runners. But the red dragons are absolutely doing damage.
Thilotilo fighting the green dragon makes sense if he throws out Stop Spell, because what we've seen, we have a pretty good feeling that green dragons are heavy on Hurtmore. That might be even an interesting thing to check right now. But because it seems like they're at least 50%, maybe 75%.
And that
nice
excellent
crit.
move. Very nice.
50%. Thank you, Schmike. That is still a pretty good enemy. You throw out a Stop Spell right off the bat, you have a reasonable chance that it will not two-shot you with that defense, and it's worth quite a bit of experience.
And Vale V asking how much XP the hero is worth. I don't think they're worth XP. I think they're worth half how much gold they have on them.
Yeah, the Dragon Lord needs to fund those armies somehow.
I think red dragons just work for the opportunity to kill heroes. Although the ghosts I hear are demanding higher minimum wage. brianwilliams42 is able to get away from the knight, cast the heal immediately twice to top it off. Very important to stay topped off as you're walking around, because there's enemies out there that can do a large amount of damage to you, case in point the Stoneman. Although the Baby Breath in the Stoneman is not bad to see, but still does... Oh, and 3 missed runs in a row and a slightly inexpensive trip back to Tanagle Castle.
Yes. Meanwhile, Thilotilo hits 12, and I believe it was 3-3-0-3. So no spells. It's level 12, kind of a dud, and that's another 1125 experience. He has to get to 13, which, we're still looking at Hurtmore. Sleep would even be nice because, again, that gives us a shot at some things in Hawksness.
And is Thilotilo walking towards where Tablet Cave is?
I don't think so. I think he's still past, because Tablet Cave was basically just west, south, east, and I don't think he's going quite that direction. I might be wrong, though. I bouncing back and forth, I'm constantly lost at where the players are. If it weren't for the fact that I have seen the zone that Brian Williams is in about 100 times, I might be lost. But hey, look, it's Sherlock.
The Big C surrounded by swamp, as it should be.
And quickly finds that Sherlock is Sherlock, and there's not a whole lot interesting, at least behind it. You never know, there could be a town or a cave right in front of the thing.
There could be. In fact, I've seen some seeds where the town was, right past the bridge. But just south and to the east, there's an open spot of land. Yeah, that's where he's going to be heading, but he'll probably kill this Rogue Scorpion on the way.
Yeah, Rogue Scorpion with the Healmore spell that Tilo has is a very high desired target. 70 experience is close to the limit of what you can easily get here. Again, I think if we had perfect knowledge here, with these hit points and the defense, the Knight might be a little bit more appealing, that zone with Knights, just because of the stop spell, but I don't think Tilo's thinking about grinding right now.
No, he's all about the exploration. He's nowhere near to go stats, but he's going to need something to edge him over and get him to the next level a little bit faster. Erdrick Sword, even a hand axe at this point would be very nice to see. Large shield.
And he's got that broadsword money. He just needs to find the place where it was again. Cole. But I don't think he's anywhere close to that anymore. He's not thinking about going back there.
No, brianwilliams42, though, with the Healmore spell, is taking on this green dragon after casting the stop spell.
Yeah, the green dragons with the Hurtmore is very appealing target right now. you can whittle them down and take them out without too much concern once you get that stop spell put up. And another interesting thought here has been mentioned a couple of times: keys. Yeah, if you're over an hour into a seed and you don't have keys, you're starting to wonder. Because imagine if that tablet cave had a key. Like, how would the seed have changed already? What would Brian Williams be able to do that Tilo hasn't because of just finding a random key somewhere?
Probably would have found 4 gold chests in Tanagle.
Unfortunately, Thilotilo found the number Knight. It's still nothing you can really do about them except to hope and pray that you get away.
Oh no. Armor Knights with DL2, not what you want to see.
No, and that's bad, but there's ways that could get real bad. Like, say they're also in Sherlock over the place, which is really bad. And then also say that the armor is in Sherlock, and then that's really, really bad. Like, all these things can kind of pile on top of themselves exponentially.
But luckily, they've got Healmore already with a large amount of MP. So, if the armor is in Sherlock, I was about to say it would be better than if you didn't have a large amount of MP in the spell of Healmore, but that's fairly obvious.
So all this is reminding me of something that you mentioned before we started, Elmore, about the nature of this seed and someone that Brian Williams had faced earlier in another seed that he's been in.
Yes. So in the 3-1 match where Brian Williams 42 faced Seawolf 1, the Seawolf 1, excuse me, that was quite a slog of a seed, if I remember right. It was nearly 3 hours to win, and I believe Seawolf 1 was just, I think at that point he forfeited immediately, because after 3 hours you're wiped. Or unless you're close, you're not going. And the person who rolled that seed for us was Lord of the Synth, our restreamer tonight. And one of the people commentating that seed was myself, so we've got 2 of the 4 that were there for it.
I mean, I'm in the same place I was during that race too, just not with the mic on, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, were you tracking that one?
No, I was sitting in front of my computer watching it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you mentioned earlier as well that the only reason that Brian Williams 42 played Seawolf 1 is because why?
Because in the third, or excuse me, yes, the fourth round there, it was Thilotilo versus Seawolf 1 in a 2-1 matchup, and Seawolf was able to win that match. Otherwise, we could have seen this match in the Swiss brackets.
Yeah.
So that's the nature of this tournament. There's a whole lot of things that could have went different ways, both inside of the matches and outside of it, just as well.
Yeah, I mean, on Thilotilo's side, absolutely that yellow hurt more in his match against EMP and E Pound of Money. I mean, that was probably the biggest wow factor. Oh my goodness. That was... And we have a Seawolf 1 sighting in chat.
Looks like, hey, Tilo beat the knight, that knight that I kept talking about. Somebody finally killed it. Thank you. But the direction he's heading right now might lead him to the tablet cave. Again, there's a couple of different forks, and he hasn't done the fork that leads to that cave yet. He's probably wishing that he had sleep. Sleep would have been so useful, so many different points. Still useful right now if we got it, because it would open up quite a bit.
And I believe this is it. Yeah, it's going to swoop around the hills through this little valley. And, well, I guess it's more of a coastline.
Yeah, getting this like 100% evens up the exploration. I don't think that there's anything that the other player has seen beyond this yet. So then we're just looking at the levels, and And we're looking at another red dragon on Brian Williams' screen. It seems to be a recurring thing.
Oh. Yeah, with 67 deaths between our runners and only 82 minutes into the seed. This is the count of deaths that we see in these 3-hour seeds, it seems like. Oh, I just said it, didn't I?
Yeah, well, we still got time, and again, we're always, I guess, one level away from something spectacular. I guess that's the problem with chasing at levels, is that you never know when something like that's gonna.
Yeah, you never know when that rubber band is gonna snap and give you all the HP that you need, or all the spells that you need. I mean, spells aren't going to help them too much. There's a large number of DL2 thrown enemies. At least one of them is very difficult to run away from. HP is really what they're looking for right now. It'll make that heal more spell much more effective. They'll be able to fight more enemies that they like. The blue dragon possibly is a kill you can make with a little bit more HP.
And mentioning chat repeatedly, and we've kind of slept on it too. This defense repel is actually really high value because you're not really repelling anything that you want to fight at this point. Maybe on Thilotilo's end slightly, but 49, you still find Wolf Lords. They have 50. They hit at 50, so you'd still be able to fight them. You'd still be able to fight these knights, and you'd stop getting hung up on some random nonsense.
Taking out yet another knight. Thilotilo is getting pretty close to that level 13. Only about 500 more XP to go. I think we've seen all that, yes. And then to the southwest, it was, what, more pain and misery?
There was a mountain range and some gold men that I think were sleeping, and I don't think either runner has gotten much beyond the initial screen. Oh wait, no, never mind. I think Brian Williams fully explored it and there's nothing down there.
It makes me wonder what we haven't explored. Now, across that little mountain bridge that goes over to the side, that was a dead end, right? Or have they explored very much past that?
I don't even remember. Are you talking about right past the Staff of Rain Cave, or where Tilo is now?
Right past the Staff of Rain Cave.
No, I think... I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, it is. It's a really tough map to keep. It meanders around, lots of bridges and odd-shaped continents. Or continents. Is it continents or is it islands? I guess it would depend on if the map is a globe or an archipelago.
There's some sort of land mass, regardless. And yeah, Thilotilo, again, meeting the Armored Knight. But yeah, we know there's nothing else down there. That was the Armored Knight that Brian Williams got away from and then immediately found nothing was down there and then got killed.
MTI, yes. AK-47 did eat the spicy wings. This does feel like Fantasy Australia. Everything kills you. Oh, Chad is having a great time tonight.
I believe that is true, Vesper Vidya, that there is, at least in the third one, I believe you come back to this area and it is nothing. It's a small area. But, this is all we know right now, so...
Yes, the vanilla Dragon Warrior 1 map does come into play in a future Dragon Warrior game. And it's actually probably one of my favorite moments in Dragon Warriors when you land on it and you hear the music, you're like, wait, what?
Yes, that was a spoiler. If you didn't want to hear that, please cover your ears the last couple of minutes. And hey, thank you for the subscription at Extra Life. Much appreciated. Well, both of our runners are kind of retreading old steps. It looks like I think Brian's going to try to head over to Brecconary. At least that's where I'm guessing he's going. Maybe he's thinking about getting some gear. Maybe he just wants to grind over there. Tilo it looks like he's going to get that Staff of Rain, assuming the Knights let him, and finally be able to kind of upgrade that. One less thing to worry about.
Yeah, and MTI in chat proclaiming his appreciation for that level that brianwilliams42 just got, and we appreciate you making it official in chat. I can't do the I love it the same way some of the other people can. I don't have it in my voice. Tilo only yeah, it's been Beta start mentioning in chat that the XP lead has gone back and forth a lot this seed, and we saw that, you know, Brian Williams got level 2 first, then Thilotilo got the early lead, Brian Williams caught up and surpassed, Thilotilo caught up and surpassed, and now Brian Williams42 is closing that gap one more time. Or at least he was until he ran out of MP and ran into a red dragon. Oh, he gets away, and he's almost, ooh, Brecconary's right there.
Thank you very much, Lord of the Synth. It's well appreciated.
Very much. That.
And yep, Thilotilo picking up the Staff of Rain now has 2 of the 3 items before getting the Rainbow Drop. Obviously, still needs to find quite a bit, though. And Brian Williams getting to Brecconary. Never so happy to be inside of Brecconary after, you know, that sort of walk to get there.
And with enough gold to purchase a large shield. Or half plate, actually, is what he's going to get, I imagine. Yeah. And he's got enough gold left over to buy a torch he doesn't need. Oh, and enough to stay at the end. That's what it is.
There you go. So getting some good equipment, just getting here. This could be pretty key in the long run. Like if he had died and ever decided to go back, or if we end up, you know, that armor could save. There's just a lot of little things that could be helped from this. But it's nice to see him get there.
I gotta say, this is the first time in Dragon Warrior Randomizer history that staying at Brecconary's Inn was more expensive than taking a death warp.
That's a very good point that I would not have thought about.
Oh, maybe he's going to stay here and get a little bit more gold from these kills out here and go in and buy that large shield. That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, with the way the seed looks, large shield is probably a permanent piece of equipment. Very unlikely we'll see a silver unless there's... I don't know. I honestly can't even think of a scenario where you would carry that money all the way across the country to find whatever town it is that would be in.
With the number of red dragons and armored knights out here, nah.
90 minutes in and making a critical half-plate purchase. Jacob.
Yeah. Halfway through the seed and getting our first... Sorry. Bad joke. Yeah, all the towns so far away. I still think we found one small townsville with Hawksness and Cole. There must be another one out there. We found one town by itself, 2 towns next to each other. Next one, 3 towns next to each other. That's got to be what it is.
Yes, my guess will be that there will be a large desert. The 3 towns will be in a triangle shape, and in the center will be the search spot, which will be the flute. Just a little bit of a Z2 reference, but...
Oh, it's a very good Z2 reference.
But yes, level 13 while we were distracted. 1, 4, 2, and 11. We're still missing Hurtmore. We're still missing Sleep. Return would be nice. At this point, Hurt's kind of uninteresting. But
and 2 HP. That's... Oh. To be fair, it's only level 13. This isn't one of those, you're level 16 and you have 50 HP seeds. You're only level 13. The problem is lack of Hurtmore means that you have no real punch outside of your swings, and against some of these enemies, it's just taking so much time.
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, kind of wondering about where the stat growths and stuff are going. When things are held back like this, there usually winds up being a rubber band snap at some point. So at some level, at some point, we're going to see a huge stat increase for something. It's just inevitable.
And their strength is already getting pretty close to where you're able to take on the Dragon Lord. If you have the Death Necklace, you're there as soon as you get your HP. The agility is still a little bit low, but once you get Urgic's armor and a large shield, you're only getting hit for 52 by the Dragon Lord at that point, which is still a lot, but with 112 MP... Actually, now that I mentioned that, Death Necklace is quite useless without more HP, so forget I said that. But this is quite something. I'm still waiting for that breakout level. It looks like brianwilliams42 was doing a little grinding in that little 3 mountain step over. Did we determine if we've seen something past this area yet? Other than blue dragons that have sent our runners back multiple times?
I honestly do not recall. But there's more blue dragons, and it looks like Tilo's getting the worst of it. Druid Lord's still a good enemy to fight. It's a decent amount of experience.
It is.
All right, taking out the blue dragon. Wonderful.
Taking out that blue dragon for... Oh. Sorry, my voice is just absolutely gone today. For 180! Okay, was that okay?
Not for me to judge.
Yeah. I need LOZ in here to tell me if I did a good job. That man can do it better than pretty much anyone else.
All right, well, where Brian Williams is, we know we're on the northern continent because we've seen this area before. Unfortunately, it doesn't help him a whole lot. And hey, both of our players just hanging around Cole.
Yeah, Cole, nice top off here at the end. Maybe we'll see one of our runners going for Hawksness. Yeah, still low HP. If there's something with Dragon Lord Breath in there, if the AK-47 doesn't spike tile, you know, oh man, what if it's Urgic's armor underneath that AK-47 in Hawksness? That would probably put the cherry on top of this seed.
Yeah, I guess with a broadsword it'd be a little bit more appealing. We just saw Thilotilo take down a blue dragon. If you can take out a blue dragon, you could probably take out an Axe Knight with some luck. With the town that close, you know, if I can kill 2 out of the 6 enemies, have a reasonable shot at it, I'm probably checking. It's been a little surprising that they haven't yet, but I mean, what item is going to break this open? The Urgic Sword would be amazing, awesome, great strength. You still have crap hit points. Well, he's got the broadsword now. We'll see if this changes things for him.
It might.
Seeing him hang around like this, and that could be part and parcel. And I keep looking over at Thilotilo when I see the screen flash, and I'm thinking he's fighting a red slime, but that's actually him.
Yes. I think that you at least go check. See what it is. Axe Knights are doable. Green Dragons won't be there. Blue Dragons are doable. Stone Men is going to be tough. Red Dragon will be tough. Just because you got to wait for the low hit or else you got to cast Heal More every time. Golems I don't think are possible. What is possible is... Oh, shoot. Okay. Going into this cave and seeing what it is. And we see Grave of Garen. Unfortunately, our runners don't have any keys, so they can't see the bottom chests, but there's a quick 3 right here. And given the luck that we've seen this seed, it's probably... What do you think? Torch Herb?
I'm leaning into something good here. I think we're going to see 1 key, and we'll probably see Brian warp out, go back and get another key. That's my guess. That's my plan here.
That'd actually be really great. And it's an herb. It's an herb. Oh. And I didn't see that. It flickered by too fast.
I think it was gold. I thought I saw a number. But hey, Remolder, who needs that when you can get keys here?
There you
Also,
go.
another check. Wow, we were just talking. We found like 2 chests the entire seed, and now we find 3 engrave, and now we find Remolder, which has 1 and has keys to unlock a whole bunch more. Wow.
And even though Thilotilo still has a slight experience lead, actually more than slight experience lead, this is a huge breakthrough. Not only is brianwilliams42 going to be able to go all the way down to the bottom of the grave now, you will be able to check out the back botanical and see what's in the 4 chests in the treasury.
Yes, and diving grave is always an interesting choice because some players will not do it under any circumstance until it's the absolute last thing. Some people will do it as soon as possible, get it out of the way. And the difference between diving it and not diving can be pretty big. But hey, another cursed belt. So we now know that there are at least 2 search spot items in play. And we've seen the one in Cole.
We've seen the one in Cole, so we know that either Hawksness or the overworld search tile, of course, you find the coordinates for that in the town of Callan that they have not found yet. The NPC is trolling. Oh my goodness. There you go. That NPC knows exactly what the seed's been like and is doing his best to continue that. Large shield, great pickup for brianwilliams42.
Did that town have the exact same items that Breckenary did?
I don't think so. I saw a club and a large shield. I didn't see what else was in there.
And I saw I thought 1,000 on the heavy plate, and I thought I saw or full plate, and I thought I saw a small shield. So clothes instead of bamboo pole. Okay, completely different. Thank you, Schmeichel.
Oh, totally different.
And yeah, he's skipping past the grave. I think he's prioritizing exploration now that he's finally found something. Although there's nothing there, so
there's nothing there. And you never know what's in the grave. The bottom of grave is kind of a crapshoot. You don't want to end your exploration too early when you're this far out. Plus, there's only 2 chests that are out of the 40-ish that are in the seed, so the chance of there being something you need is fairly low, less than 5%. He gets his lackluster level 13. Actually, it's not lackluster. There's 11 MP that you don't need.
I mean, that's another heal more plus. That could be good. I think, yeah, what are we missing right now? We're missing Garinham and Cantlin for the towns, and we're missing the Jerk Cave, the Stones Cave, the Mountain, and is that it?
I believe so. And we know that one of those caves is going to be behind the castle, and the other one is going to be behind Garinham. So there's a good chance that, one of those 2. The Mountain Cave has a very good chance of being behind one of those towns that we still haven't found yet.
And Brian, deep diving grave. I have a feeling this is a plan to just die. Like, not right away. Try to get these items, knowing it's a bit of a risk, and probably just taking the Death Wart back. Like, he's discovered everything he wants to in this nook, and is making a play right now to just kind of wrap it up and not come back.
And that's... Did he explore south of where the cave was?
No idea. Sorry, I lose track of the map stuff, unless they're in the same zone over and over. Meanwhile, we see all this, and Tilo is stuck against another red dragon, which just isn't great at all.
Yeah, waiting for that low hit to give him a better chance of running. Making it away. Better chance of not dying after failing to run is what I meant to say, but fortunately for him, he's able to make it. Very good.
And the area Thilotilo's in is the one that he died on that Armored Knight and had his exploration blocked right before he finalized it. Which again, Brian Williams is in that situation probably about 10-15 minutes before Tilo and was able to run away and now has never went back there. So that was a hefty jaunt out in the middle of nowhere that isn't really giving him any new information, just negative information, I suppose.
And we are going to get some... after this blue dragon, we will get some positive information. And it is a... Oh, hey, it's a fairy flute.
That actually could be really good right now. That adds another possibility and Hawksness of an enemy that you can defeat.
It is, and almost as important. So let's round up what we can find on... Oh, wow. Actually, let's talk about level 14, coming with the Hurt More. And a little bit of HP, but that Hurt More has got to be really nice to see. What was I saying? On the search tile, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the game, or unfamiliar with the randomizer, there's 3 spots that you can search instead of finding a chest. One is in coal, which we've already found. One is in the back of the shop in Hawksness, where in the vanilla game we find Erdrick's armor. And in the town of Catlin, the old man behind a locked door gives you coordinates to an overworld search tile. Every time you find a cursed belt in the game, that's an indication that one of those search tiles will have something on it, since the cursed belt represents the item that would have been in the chest, was it not replaced on the search tile. We've seen 2 cursed belts, so we know there's at least one more search tile that's open. There's the death necklace, and the armor, the sword, and the stones of sunlight that could be found on it. So by finding that flute, it I don't want to say it increases the odds of that item being Erdrick's armor, but given the information that we know, it gives him an indication that it might be something good. As we find Dragon Scale, which I think he already purchased.
Alright, the fact that he didn't go outside right away, it looks like this is a grind and die at this point. So Deep Grave had the flute, which might be useful, the Dragon Scale, which is redundant. If Tilo does not do that, it may be a jump ahead, but it looks like Tilo might be going that direction to finally see and fight whatever is in Hawksness.
Yep, going straight there. Repel has lost its effect. But no, he, with that level 14, with the spell of Hurt More, a decent amount of other stat gains, nothing too crazy. 119 MP, not another heal more, but still a lot. But if it's something that he can easily kill, watch it be an Axe Knight.
Brian Williams getting out, and oh, it's an Armor Knight. That is the one thing you do not want to see here.
Yeah, well, oh, and immediately DL2. So, because they have the Dragon Lord's breath, it's a one-shot kill right now at 61 hit points. So he has to land the first Hurt More and hope that it's not something else. Okay. I saw gold wings, and what else was there?
Yeah, I missed the third item as well, but I don't think it was anything exciting, because I think the text was kind of short. Alright, 2 Fairy Waters, but now he can get his keys back, and we can see what's underneath Tantasia, which again is one of 3 things, which could be useful. Whatever else is in here, we still have, as far as the overworld is concerned, Cantlin, Gurinham, and 1 cave, because one of the 3 outstanding caves will be underneath Gurinham.
And it's the Mountain Cave. 5 more chests here.
Alright, and we still are missing quite a few items, and we know one important item is at least in those search spots. We don't know which one is which or where, and again, Tilo could be walking over to Hawksness again to find nothing underneath this Armored Knight. But he's going to keep trying at it. I mean, or maybe he's not. I thought he was going directly there.
I thought he was too. I don't want to say it doesn't make sense to go back there, because the first time the Axe Knight doesn't cast DL2 Breath at you, and doesn't get the back attack, you've killed it, and you found out what's underneath it. And it could be something good. It could be the armor, which would be a huge game opener for him. Speaking of opening a chest, and we have a... Oh, he's already... excuse me. He's still chest glitching because he hasn't left the castle.
I think that was an herb. The amount he took, I think that's the only thing that could have been.
Yeah, I think it was an herb. It wasn't a key, or else it would have said nothing since he just filled up. Second chest is something other than a club.
Well, we'll get to see it because it's going to show on screen here. And it's the Stones of Sunlight. Now he has all of his key items.
That's fantastic. So go trade in the harp, and as soon as you find the jerk cave, you'll be ready to turn it in without having to go back.
Yeah, it's a good thing to find in advance. And finding knights down here, he's definitely not sad about that. That's a good enemy to fight right now.
And seeing as where this cave is located, is that a Vanilla Stones location?
I guess you could put it that way. Oh, and he found the leather armor. Nice.
And gets a torch. He's going to get a little more gold here. I don't think it's going to do a full-blown gold grind for the silver shield, but it's enough for the full plate if he runs across it.
Yeah, full plate broadsword. And he knows exactly where it is. Now he's got the flute. Great, because otherwise he might have been dead meat here.
Fortunately, it's not too long of a walk to get back here since the mountain cave is behind Tanagal, but is able to get away, cast heal more, and in a second we're going to see what this fifth one is. Yeah, Hawks could have nothing. That is very true. Could also have something.
Tilo hasn't found the second cursed belt, so he doesn't have any additional knowledge. Not that I think that's really limiting at this point. The flame sword, I don't think we've seen a flame sword yet in any shop.
We haven't seen this town yet, have we? Is this
no.
Cantlin?
It's Cantlin or
Garanham.
No, it's Garanham, either one.
Either one needs a key, and it is Cantlin. The Mall of Elfgard.
Which, it's good to find, but there's not a tremendous amount he's going to be able to do here. Large shield, good pickup. Get that out of the way, mark it on the map, but without keys, he's locked out of the real value here.
Yeah, just to the south of, not just to the south, in the southern portion of the town, there's an old man locked behind a door who gives you some important coordinates. Unless there is no coordinates, in which case he just tells you to go fight. Probably going to fill up on some herbs here.
Speaking of herbs, I think that was our last chest there in Mountain, so we got the stones, and we are still missing some very important items. What do we have left to find that we have not seen?
So for entering Charlock Castle, we still need to find the Jerk. We call him the Jerk because if you don't have Erdrick's token, when you talk to him, he says, "Be gone!" and just literally kicks you out of the shrine that he's located in. This is Garanham, probably.
It has to be, which again would be great if he had keys. It doesn't even stick around. It's like, nope, nothing I can buy, nothing I can do here. I'm just going to keep moving.
Yeah, going back to what we need. In order to fight the Dragon Lord, you more than likely need Erdrick's Sword. It gives you 40 attack power in addition to your strength. And so that would put them at 121 attack power, which isn't quite enough to take out the Dragon Lord right now. But we still have a few more levels until we get to the hit points we need. So they got time. If you find... Or the other thing you'll need is Erdrick's Armor. Erdrick's Armor, in addition to having the most defense of any armor in the game, it also reduces the damage done by the DL2 breath by 1/3. So very much necessary. That means that you can actually heal more every other attack, whereas if you went in to fight the Dragon Lord without Erdrick's Armor, you'd be heal mooring multiple times in a row sometimes.
And Brian Williams had saved with that money, got hung up by a blue dragon, taken out, and a red dragon, is going back. So he's in that sort of loop. Tilo finding another cave. Again, I don't think we've seen this. So this could be the Stones Cave or the Jerk Cave.
I think he's probably looking for the Stones Cave. It's going to give us the best... he's not even going to go in there. But he hasn't seen Mountain or Grave yet, so he doesn't know what it is.
I think he just kind of wanted to finish up getting his bearings. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back there before he gets too much further. But maybe not. I think he's kind of made the loop over here.
We see brianwilliams42 immediately go to the staff trade-in. Thilotilo neglecting to go check the search, or go search that Sparkover tile. For those of you who may be joining us for the first time, whenever you see a single tile after a bridge, we lovingly call those Sparkover bridges, and named after one of our fellow runners, Sparkover. And inside of the free cave, we have a magic key. Oh, huge pickup for Thilotilo. So even though he hasn't found Rimalder, which we know leads to a series of duds for the most part, you will need Stones of Sunlight and Mountain Cave at some point, but you can immediately now go back, heal up in Garenham, go to Cantlin, buy more keys, or just go back in here and get another key. Actually,
I think he was gonna head to Cantlin and then saw how much money he had and was like, you know what, maybe I should just do this.
Yeah, very nice. So we know Garenham. We, with the perfect information, having seen both the screens of our runners, know that behind Garenham is going to be the Jerk Cave, which is where you turn in those items to find the Rainbow Drop. So that's not going to be much of a benefit to Thilotilo right now, since he does not have the Stones of Sunlight. But Cantlin will give you that search tile, possibly, if there is one.
And yeah, so he'll have that information here in a little bit. He got away from a red dragon, which had to be extremely scary to be where they are, which is out in the middle of absolute nowhere, about as far as you could possibly get away from the capital there. And we know from what he's found that despite the fact that he hasn't found all the things that Brian Williams has found in some direction, none of that is actually necessary. Rimalder and the grave are not needed at all. He could possibly skip the entire set. And Erdrick's sword in Garenham, nice.
Very nice. So, and it's a replacement key right there. So Beta Trip mentioning that both Dricks could be up there. I believe Jay Copa earlier saying that there's a lot of potential in Garenham. And it turns out that they were both right. That's a huge pickup. That Hawksness enemy is not any easier because it's the Armored Knight, which you want to use Hurtmore's on, and it's hitting you very hard with that deal 2 breath. But a lot of enemies in the overworld that can kill for experience are definitely more doable. Go back here, buy a few more keys now that he has gold from that chest in the back of Garenham, and I think we're going to see some coordinates here, or at least a check for them.
Yeah, we might see the coordinates at the same time that Brian Williams is trying to fight that Armored Knight. And so we might get to see what's left here. Because as far as key items go, well, actually, he's not going that way. He's just grinding. Or maybe he's trying to get a level before he fights it. That might be the case.
Yeah, he doesn't know what it is. But I imagine this close to level 14, he's wanting either a little bit more hit points or that spell of Hurtmore. Or both.
So we know, as far as key items go, we are missing the Death Necklace and the armor. And here we go, Tilo, checking on our coordinates, and it is 48 north, 66 west. That could be on the swamp continent.
It might be? That's a long way to check, and unfortunately it's not... If it was triple-digit coordinates, given where Tanagal was, you could probably do a reverse count. This is going to be a real tough one to count. We may see a check to see what's in the spike tile in Swamp Cave, followed by a Princess save.
Yeah, definitely a strong option right now. And the Swamp Cave's not that far away. That Princess Rescue wouldn't be, even if it isn't absolutely necessary, wouldn't be crippling. And, we talked again before the stream that we've seen those Princess Rescues that Brian Williams has done, I think multiple times. Reverse counting has been very, very big for him. And it has just shaved off tons of time. And I don't think that's something that's in the cards considering these coordinates, but it is something that could be at play as we start to wrap up the seed.
Yes. And also, do we go to Hawksness here? Because if you're going to Death Warp back, do it on that Axe Knight that you know has something underneath it. Or that you know might have something underneath it.
Yeah, Thilotilo doesn't have as much knowledge about these particular things as Brian Williams does. He doesn't know that the flute is out as an option. He does find the town of Remolder, however, which a little late for its maximum usefulness, but he'll get to see the cursed belt down here.
Now, this cursed belt doesn't mean there's something in Hawksness, because we know there's coordinates, so that's at least 2. That accounts for those 2 cursed belts right there. Oh
man, did you see that fight? He gets a hurt more. The Armor Knight casts heal more. He gets another hurt more. The Armor Knight puts him in the red, and then the third hurt more fails. So heck, look at that: 75% heal more, 25% DL2. The DL2, I don't know. The heal more makes him annoying, but not necessarily more difficult to beat in the long run, unless you have 61 hit points and can't withstand 2 hits.
Yeah, if you swing first and don't hit hard enough, and you have to swing a second time in order to get to the point where you know Hurtmore is going to kill, that's just really rough. And it's just more opportunity for the Axe Knight, Armor Knight, that we know is only 25% to cast DL2 Breath. And did he even use it on brianwilliams42? Does he know it has it?
No, but no, I think he might have seen it beforehand. I think he's seen some Armor Knights here and there. Sees that a golem is on our other tile, which is probably more appealing. I don't know. That's kind of a gross fight either way.
He does have the flute. He doesn't have as much attack power as Thilotilo, but he definitely still has the flute. As Thilotilo finds Grave, is he going to deep dive Grave without having seen what's behind Tanagal?
Well, the flute might be useful considering where the coordinates are if the coordinates require going to the separate continent. I seem to think there's quite a bit south, but I might be off, so which makes me think that 48 North is going to push them into that second continent.
Was the flute down deep or was it up here?
That was in spot 4.
Oh, that's right, it's just gold.
I guess while we have a moment, I can go over that now that we've just about hit the 2-hour mark, and we're still not in Grind and Go. We found the token is in Tablet Cave, the harp is in Coal, the flute is in the 4th spot in the Grave, the stones were in what I call the 2nd spot in Mountain, the one in the bottom right after you go down to the 2nd floor, and Erdrick's sword was in Grinham. Keys eluded us for a long time. Brian Williams has not found the towns of Cantlin, Grinham, or has seen the Stones Cave or the Jerk Cave, whereas Thilotilo is almost caught up in that regard, hasn't found Mountain Cave yet, and hasn't seen the rest of Grave, which it looks like he's about to do.
Yeah, and after all this, Thilotilo still with about 1,000 XP lead and is continuing to gain. Brian Williams42 going after this Arbor Knight one more time. Thilotilo does not know about the Healmore in the Arbor Knight.
Yes, Mountain Cave is in the basement. Brian Williams gets the first Hurtmore off, no Healmore, and he's finished it off. We'll see if there is anything here. We do not know for sure if there is, and there is, and it is Erdrick's armor.
Oh, huge pickup for Brian Williams42. Not only does he not have to go back to Oxness to fight the Armor Knight, he now has almost everything he needs. So as soon as he finds the town of Garenham, he'll be in go mode because the sword is in Garenham, Grind and go mode. But the sword is in Garenham, Rainbow Drop Cave is in the back of Garenham. So gets that, and then he finds a place to grind, which unfortunately there isn't a good place. He don't think he saw the DL2 breath in the Armor Knight, which is why he's going back here for a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, and what this really means, the advantage could be for Brian Williams at this point, is that he has found, once he gets to Grinham and finds the sword, which he will probably do before he winds up doing anything for the coordinates, he'll find that the coordinates are just a death necklace, which he will probably not put any effort into finding. Whereas if Thilotilo warps out of here, goes through mountain, might choose to go rescue the princess and go directly after the coordinate spot first instead of going to Hawksness. If that's the case, it could be a giant time save for Brian Williams finding these things in this order.
And with the MP that they have at level 14, as long as they get just a little bit more strength, the Death Necklace will not be required. Even if they get a large amount of HP, with this MP they have, if they have enough HP to use the Death Necklace, they're going to have sufficient doubles to take down the Dragon Lord.
Right, and it looks like Tilo left the grave, walked out of it. I think he wanted to finish up his exploration over here, or maybe he's just trying to snag a level. He is reasonably close. So no, I think he's trying to snag a Death Warp, which he did not take inside of grave.
The Death Warp inside a grave may not be necessary. They know. I mean, I haven't seen a Silver Shield in a shop, and any Silver Shield in a shop is going to be very far away.
I was just thinking about it more the oddity of doing it that specific way, but he probably had a little bit of exploration and didn't quite finish up. Anyway, he's going to find the relative nothing that's here in Tantagel, and then probably go straight down in the mountain and likely clear that unless something unfortunate happens.
Almost a completely vanilla armor. If it had been an Axe Knight instead of an Armor Knight, that would have been a nearly perfect vanilla armor location.
If it had been an Axe Knight, Tilo might have had the armor 20 minutes ago.
Oh, longer than that, I think. Actually, no. When did they get hurt more? Yeah, about 20 minutes. Time just loses all meaning 2 hours into a seed.
So a lot of what's going to happen here, what's going to determine what's going on, is how quickly Brian is able to find the missing pieces. Tilo will, he has to clear mountain, and it's not really that much of a time lost to do it anyway, so it'd be weird not to unless you knew you 100% didn't need to, but it'll be his decision whether or not he goes for the coordinates or whether he goes back to Hawksness first. If he spends any time in the swamp cave at all, that could be to his detriment.
It could be, and the other thing is, if he gets another level, which is very close, a level here, and that gives him sufficient hit points that he's not as worried about the Dragon Lord breath on that Arbor Knight. He may just think, oh, Hawksness is right there. I'll go for it.
Yep, and there he gets his Stones of Sunlight, so he's ready to go. And also pointed out by chat, another difference here is that wherever Caitlin is, Grinham to find that jerk cave, Brian Williams is going to be able to one and done it, whereas Tilo has to go all the way back. So the routing didn't really line up well for him as well.
No, not at all. And if my memory serves, both Garenham and Caitlin are going to be... Well, Caitlin's going to be south from right where brianwilliams42 is, and Garenham just a little bit to the east of there.
Alright, but in the meantime, Brian Williams taking the experience lead and getting 15, which has 0 attack, 2 speed, 41 hit points,
wow,
and 2 magic points and the spell of Repel. So these stats, this is almost go mode right now.
I don't think you have the HP to do it. Because you have a lot of MP. You've got 15 heal mores. But with 120, let's say 125 if they find the Fighter's Ring attack power, that's, 16 swings on the Dragon Lord on average?
It would be worse than that. Yeah, it's not quite there, but it's close. And, they're going to continue fighting until they know they're at that point anyway. I don't think you'd start running from things while you're missing locations and pieces. I think a lot of this is just going to be how quickly does Brian find Caitlin and Grinham. And then it's just one level, which, who knows what you're going to grind on at this point. Maybe Sharlock's way too far out in the nowhere. Probably Hawksness is the best because you have, Hawksness... Actually, Swamp Cave's pretty close to Tantagel, and if you have the sword, 120 attack power, that golem might be interesting.
I'm definitely thinking golem at this point with the proximity to Swamp Cave and the lack of deal 2 breath and heal more.
Well, the 102 hit points make, survivable now, which Thilotilo will be at that point before he decides to do anything. It looks like he's decided to go to Swamp Cave to rescue that princess.
Oh no, yeah.
And if I didn't see if he did, I think he got the flute. So yeah, that's actually working against him now, because that incentivizes this fight, and really don't want it to.
He is going to level off this fight and see that massive HP gain. I don't know what that means, but it's going to happen.
Well, he's going to rescue the princess, and will he go through the swamp cave? Because again, I'm pretty sure that's where that is. Unless level 16 is another gigantic HP boost, that death necklace is not going to see much use here. And we see Brian Williams has already found Garinham. It's just off the corner of the screen.
Yeah, so he doesn't even need Caitlin, doesn't even need the coordinates. Well, he's going to find that out here in a second. So we do have level 15 on Thilotilo's side. And if you save the princess, even if the coordinates are on the second continent, you're going to have to go back, return the princess to the king before you do anything else.
Well, that's not too far away, but it is a time loss. Outside and return, which he did get at 15. So it is a bit of a drag. But I mean, Brian Williams is just seconds away from Erdrick's sword, getting the rainbow drop, and realizing he doesn't even need to find Caitlin.
Yeah. And chat's starting to talk about this Charlock dive, and with 66 agility at level 15, it's going to be rough getting away from some of the higher end enemies in there, one of which we know has heal more and deal 2 breath.
Yeah, nothing super appealing about that one, unfortunately. But you don't know. It might not even be in Charlock. It could be everywhere in Charlock. You really don't know. And Thilotilo going against chat by deciding to actually turn in Gwaelin instead of just carrying her around in his slime body.
Always wondered how the slimes carry Gwaelin. It just doesn't make sense.
I assume she's just floating around inside. But I mean, there's not much else you could do. I think if I were in his situation, I would be inclined to do the exact same thing, especially because I'd have a really strong bet. Like I have already even said it here. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where the coordinates lie, and Hawksness is very unappealing.
And is he heading towards where Hawksness is? I mean, yes, because that's kind of the direction you have to go to get anywhere. And 66 west means you're going pretty far out there. In fact, is Hawksness kind of... I don't know how far north Hawksness is.
It's about that far west. I don't think it's super far north, but it is possible that the Death Necklace could be right in that same area. Or, I mean, the overworld search spot, to be more accurate.
And I think regardless of anything, what you said earlier is probably the biggest factor right now. Even if Thilotilo goes to Hawksness, finds the armor, he has to go all the way back to Garinham, which is going to take a few minutes.
Yeah, and Brian Williams is just grinding at this point. He's found a good zone with Axe Knights that are nothing special compared to normal, and he's just kind of roasting them right now. And hey, Star Wyvern's another great enemy to fight. The grind spots we've seen are all unappealing, so this seems like the strong move to find a good zone and just sit in it.
Yeah, with the Axe Knights and Star Wyverns here, that's pretty good XP per minute if they can actually find an encounter. Wow. Where was this encounter luck earlier when they were trying to get around?
Well, now Tilo knows exactly where Well, he doesn't actually know exactly where the armor is because he hasn't seen Green Curse spells, but he does know that he has to go back to Hawksness to check.
Yeah, because right now it's either in Hawksness or in Charlock, and you're definitely going to check Hawksness first, no doubt.
And yeah, the advantage here will be for Tilo if somehow there is little to no strength and a gigantic amount of hit points here at 16 that puts the Death Necklace in play. Because if the Death Necklace were to be equipped, ignoring what our hit points are, that AP and MP combination is enough to do this. But we see level 16, 3, 0, 5, and 3. That doesn't really change the math too much. So yeah, 126 puts it at about a 17 round fight. The MP is that's 15 heal mores. That is possible, but everything else surrounding that is not appealing.
He knows where Breckenary is with access to Fairy Water. So Fairy Water, with its roughly 134 AP equivalent hits, changes the dynamic somewhat. So say you have 5 Fairy Water, and you go in there, your first 5 is, deals average Fairy Water damage. Then you're looking at maybe, about 10 more hits after that, and you're getting close to it.
Yeah, I think the kind of the missing thing in the math there, the difference in the attack, the amount of damage you're going to do at 126 AP versus the Fairy Water at 134 is about 3 points per hit. So you might shave off 1.5 rounds off of that fight. That's still ultra tight, and I have a feeling that at best we're going to see a test of Charlock just to see if it's something they can go through.
Yeah, I think chat's talking. Not only is our agility bad, that means our defense is bad. So your Dragon Lord is now hitting you, I think, for what, 52? 52 is what the Dragon Lord's hitting for you at, with 73 defense. And on the way down here, if you run into Armor Knights that are throwing DL2 breath at you, it's sapping away your precious MP.
So just for chat knows, Thilotilo already in Hawksness, got the armor. Looks like he's going to grind on that Armor Knight, while Brian Williams is diving. Again, I'm not sure if this is a serious dive or if he's just testing the waters, and if things look bad, might decide to just fight whatever. Again, he was settling for an overworld grind. Underneath Hawksness, underneath Charlock isn't going to be a huge difference. But swinging through the red dragons.
We haven't seen anything too bad from the red dragons thus far, so not a terrible plan. Although, he's just taking the Death Ward back, maybe. Or he knew he was going to get it on that hit.
I think he's hedging his bets and just seeing if he gets lucky. If he got sent back after that, that wouldn't be the worst thing. It's when you get down to the basement and you've spent all that time running from everything, that's where the time investment carries so much weight. If he's able to actually get a 3-shot on one of these red dragons, which now he realizes that dream is over after a dodge and 1 hit, and he already has to heal. So again, he'll probably try it a little bit longer, but once he goes to 1 or 2 more heal mores, he knows that there's no chance anymore.
But you're getting XP and you're getting knowledge, so go down to the lower zones, see if they're going to be rampant with AK-47s or red dragons, and see if you need to go to level 17, possibly level 18.
I mean, if he goes down here and finds the fighter's ring, that alone, it seems weird, but at that attack level, it could shave 1 to 2 rounds off of this fight if you're really lucky.
Yeah, Beta Strep, swinging at the red dragons is definitely the play here. You're really tough to run away from it, and it's better to take 2 hits from the red dragon and walk away with 255 hit points than it is to take 2 hits from the red dragon and just get away. Did I say 255 hit points? I meant XP.
This totally feels like a test the waters dive. Just now that he's realized he's not going to be able to get through it, just fight things, get down there. And maybe he, picks up, again, Fighter's Ring could actually be useful. It pushes the bar a little bit. It might be worth the time at this range. If you were in the 130s then I don't think it's really worth the time because you're probably not saving around. But he's trying to conserve, and maybe he can get through it with 112. I don't. That would be really pushing it. Meanwhile, Tilo's hit 16. We'll see if he decides to go or if he is going to. He's taking a look at those stats. He might decide just to heal up and go get his stuff and do something from there. But we know Sherlock is in the direction of where Garanham is, which has the Jerk Cave.
He may go down and try to find the knowledge. He may try to make a legitimate dive. Who knows?
Fighting the Golem with the flute is... Yeah, he's looking at 17 for sure now. He's going to take whatever it takes to get to it. If he gets the level before he gets the chest, he'll probably just outside out, go back to Remolder and dive again. Although the fact that Remolder, I think, is the closest town, isn't appealing since he needs herbs, and he's already used some of those, so that could be limiting. But you never know. 17 could blow the doors off of this, and it wouldn't even be a concern anymore.
And at this rate, we're going to see level 17 sooner rather than later. Although Thilotilo is managing to keep up the experience a little bit. He's only about 1,400 experience behind. It's going to keep even pace right here when he kills the Armor Knight versus the Wizard. But just knowing what's in Charlock and already having all the homework done, it might be insurmountable.
Yeah, the advantage would have been possibly in Tilo's favor throughout this if Brian Williams was not fighting everything and surviving reasonably well. And he's going to have to burn another heal more here, I think, in this fight, which, diminishes any chance of being able to continue on, I think. Unless, level 17 gives a huge strength gain, then maybe he has enough heal mores at that point.
Yeah, there's... Okay, so he's through this one.
Honestly, where his AP is, even a couple of points shaves a number of rounds off, potentially after this fight. So
yeah, we're close to that break point. I agree. We're down to 12 heal mores. Not even going to check for the Fighter's Ring. Just going to go straight there, see what's in the spike tile. Oh, there's red dragons down here too.
Yeah, all of this is, can he manage to kill it before he has to use a heal more? And I think he got it. Yes, just barely. Ooh. So he's playing a little bit loose, but I think he also knows that if he has to use a heal more and so on, that the odds of this knowing that are still pretty high. Takes the flute. This golem will get him the level. Though really, like a ghost would get him the level at this point.
The spike tile is going to get him the level, so he's probably just doing the fairy flute to guarantee the run. You're so far down. He might actually be planning on doing it. The way that he's actually doing everything he can to maintain his MP right now makes me think that he thinks there's a chance.
And then finds the red dragon, deciding to run after all of those times fighting them. Now on the brink, deciding just to pull and go. Tilo going in, getting the drop here in just a moment, and then we'll get to see if he dives Sherlock too, which I think he will if he's already went this direction in the first place. And a Stone Man.
Ooh, Stonemen hit hard, but they... Oh, that's right, they only have the baby breath. Alright, this is gonna be easy, and in a second here, we'll see what level 17 brings.
Yeah, I'd say 4 points of strength is enough. It might not even take that much. But level 17, 5, 1, 12, 17. I think we're gonna see him try this. Yeah, he's gonna have to heal walk. On average, 131 AP, looks like 14 rounds. He still has 12 heal mores. He's getting the heal walking, got just enough. He's not going to be able to do anything in this fight except swing. So this is not guaranteed, and it all really depends on what we're going to see here in these rounds and what the rolls are.
He's going to need to get the jump on both of them. He's going to need some stop spell luck, because if he doesn't get stop spell luck, he's going to have to cast it. Oh no! That was a fairly low hit.
Yeah, he is still around again. He can be hit for 52, fighting the Dragon Lord, and is ambushed. Will have to immediately heal.
But it was only a low hit, so chance of a double, or... no chance of a double.
No, first hit for 14. He's going to have to roll high. He lost the initial attack, so he's actually down one more attack than you would think. Second attack is an 8. That is almost as bad as it could be. Pretty gross. Nine, that puts us at 31. Noting where his MP is, he's directly on. He doesn't have any extra magic if, thinking about what we would do here at the end. 12, I actually lost track already. And 13, those are the sort of numbers you want to look at, you want to see, because he does have straight hit points, and there is a slight chance for a double, and then that's it. He's going on 51. He needed that, and he got the DL2 breath at the right time.
He did, and Tilo's got a full load of fairy water, so this might be his chance. Oh, wow. So if Tilo's running a very similar strat going down there, probably going to try to get level 17 as well, same way that brianwilliams42 did, but he's got a full load of fairy water to back it up. This is pretty close. If brianwilliams42 is unable to make it this time, Thilotilo has suddenly jumped ahead.
Well, he has to make it there first, which Brian Williams is fighting everything. I don't think Tilo's gonna. And these are not good rolls, but theirs is another double for Brian Williams.
Oh, and unfortunately, Thilotilo runs into an Armor Knight on the first floor. I don't think we saw that in Brian Williams' side.
This is not guaranteed, but he has great odds to finish this up.
Last swing. Are we going to see it?
Oh, he got the 9.
We do.
Absolute minimum number he needed to clear the gap. Nice job.
Wow. Break out your GGs in chat, as Brian Williams42 is going to quickly cast Return and head back to talk to the king.
Yeah, that was a heck of a dive. He kind of did the line there. He healed when he needed to, did just enough to get there, and had to use every resource possible, but comes in first place with a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 43 seconds.
Wow, GG's to Brian Williams42. Thilotilo has forfeited. Not surprising, it's been a long race.
Yeah, and with the way that Sharlock had looked to him already, I don't think, what was it, multiple Armor Knights? Just
multiple. Yeah, he's already down to 11 heal more, so it'd be rough to continue down from there.
He was set up well for it, and really, he was in this race the entire time. A lot of it came down to just unfortunate routing right there at the end that kind of turned it really in Brian's favor.
Yeah, and with that, we have Thilotilo with us in chat. GG, kind of unfortunate there, but still very well played. And kind of a rough seed for you. Initial thoughts?
That was... My initial thoughts are that was a phenomenal seed for a finals matchup. I am really interested to watch this back because I could not get off the ground. Obviously, Brian didn't have an easy time either. Given how long the seed was, being one Charlock dive ahead isn't necessarily a great fortune. So obviously he had trouble too, but I'm really interested to look and see where he got his experience, because I'm pretty sure that's where I lost, is just not having not being able to find a place to grind. Every time I found something, it just went very poorly for me until I finally found that nice little zone up near Breckenary where I managed to get like 20 encounters before the red dragon showed up.
Yeah, believe it or not, the lead changed multiple times throughout this race. You got the initial jump, and then when you started exploring, Brian Williams found a decent spot to get a few more levels ahead of you, and then it went back and forth, I think, twice more throughout the seed. So finding the grind spot was very difficult. Brian Williams, how did you think? Or what do you think?
Brian, can you hear us? We cannot hear you. I saw him trying. I don't think he's quite got his mic ready yet. Yeah, we see him trying to talk, but nothing's coming through.
Just Discord things.
It's all right. But yeah, what Elmore said there was very key. It just seemed like bouncing back and forth between good grind and then just no exploration back and forth. I think you came through, Brian.
Okay, you got me.
Oh my, that
We
level
can hear you
17
now.
was nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, 44 deaths, it felt like even more. There was no zone that was safe, except for zone 0. But I think I don't even know. I just kept wandering out into the world, getting like a few kills on something and dying, and doing that for like an hour and a half. There was never really too many places I actually settled down, which bothered me the whole time, but everywhere was really dire. I did spend some time on green dragons near swamp entrance with stop spell, because at least I could run from blue dragons. Maybe, I don't know, I tried to farm specters, and just red dragons farmed me for like 20 minutes, but I don't know. I couldn't find anywhere good. It was rough.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was wandering out of the swamp and I hit specters, and I was like, all right, what a nice zone. I hit like two specters, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I just found the sweet little zone, and then red dragon, and then I try to traverse that area again, another red dragon, and then another red dragon. And then, I finally find those little Wolf Lord Spectre areas, and the red dragon shows up there, or Stone Man shows up when I'm around that general vicinity, and it was just brutal trying to find something.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty bad. The seed felt just cursed because I don't know. I got hurt more exactly in Hawksness, and I walked over to the Armored Knight, and I hurt more it twice, and I was like, the third one's gonna get it, and it missed, and I died, and I had to walk back through red dragons to get back there. It's just like, forget it. So just how do we make it end?
Yeah, the armor was the very last thing I got after Dreadful cleared the rest of the map. But speaking of map, that map was absurd.
It was quite a meandering map.
Yeah. I never found Cantlin, and I never found Freebie because it was just such a massive map.
Interesting. Cantlin and Freebie were were just like a screen to the left and a screen to the right of Garanham. The Freebie cave had I had a key, and that was actually where I got my keys because I found that before I found Rimaldar.
Oh God, that's an immense walk if you made it that far ever and survived. Because until we had Hurtmore, it was just a dying spree trying to get there. So, wow, I can't believe you made it that far. I knew I had everything when I first got to Garanham because that was the last place I found, other than those last two spots, which were near each other.
Just the coordinates were 48 north, 66 west, and it had the death necklace, as you might surmise.
Yeah, those are awful too. 48 north, 66 west. I mean, it's kind of like that peninsula northeast of Cole. Is that where that
exactly.
is? Or yeah, so brutal.
But as I said before you showed up, I think this seed was a brilliant seed for a finals match. It
definitely
really required you to use every tool in your toolbox.
Exactly. You had to search for a good grind spot. You had to figure out when it was a good time to explore. I saw some unorthodox tactics that I hadn't seen, such as killing Goldmen for gold. to buy items. That's something you normally don't see in these games.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't make it to Brecconary with that gold, but I killed Goldmen on the way there until the red dragon stopped me. So yeah, it was a thought. It just didn't work. Maybe it worked for Tilo. I don't know.
I never actually tried to kill a gold man for that exact reason. I said, I could kill this and get some gold, but I need somewhere to spend it, and I'm going to die before I get there.
Yeah, we both noticed that a gold grind for a silver shield was probably unlikely given the low chance of actually getting somewhere without dying.
Did you ever see a silver shield?
No,
we did not see one.
No, I didn't either. Yeah, I guess if Comms didn't see one, then we didn't see one.
Well, I didn't check the last shop. I didn't check the Rimmelsdar shop or the bottom shop in Camden. So.
No, I don't recall seeing anything either. And again, GG to both of you, especially to Brian there for the victory. There was a question chat had earlier that I wanted to relay, and it was: were either of you counting for the because of the wall that we had on the Eastern Continent, counting the zones at the beginning to try to pinpoint exactly which one you wanted?
I strongly considered it, but I got a good enough sense of, at least by a tile or two, where the zones were. I mean, if you watched my exploration in the swamp, I would go north to zone 1 so that I would have the opportunity as I was going across the swamp to run into those monsters and get 14, 20 experience, whatever. And then when I got to the edge of the zone, I would travel south so that I was no longer that northwest zone of the castle and then travel west. So I got at least as many, so now I'm in zone 2, got as many free tiles as I could before I had to walk into the red dragon zone.
Yeah, I knew where the zones were. They were all red dragons, so it didn't really matter where you went. I mean, I knew. So I also reverse count ready, and we were 5 off the edge, and about 7 from the top of the zone above, and there were 2 zones above that. One was zone 1, kind of had skeletons, trolls that had DL2 breath, and then the zone above that had red dragons. So that was out. The zone next to us had red dragons. The zone next to that had red dragons. There was the green dragons above. Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good map of the first 5 zones because that's all I did for the first hour and a half.
When did you finally find Rimmelsdar? Do you have an idea on your timer where that was?
125, 130.
Okay,
it was about 130, 140, I believe.
I finally got my key at 153.
Yeah, and there was good stuff with the key. Well, yeah, I mean, the armor on Hawksness and the sword in Garenham, but you had to get all the way back to Garenham.
Well, I was 3 feet from Garenham when I got those keys. I actually grinded the freebie cave for 3 keys, and then was able to get everything on the suite before I went off and finally found Rimmelsdar Grave.
Yeah, we thought actually the pathing that you guys did seemed like it was really beneficial to Tilo until we found the stones in the mountain cave and then realized that you, Brian, wouldn't have to go back to Garenham to turn that in, and Tilo did, and that was a fairly large time difference. That and the fact that Tilo saw the coordinates first before you did, which I don't think you even checked them because you
never got there.
Yeah, you got Hawksness first. That was a key change late in the race because I think, Tilo, you ended up going to rescue the princess, which was another divergence there late.
Yeah, I debated going... I went to Hawksness once and through the Hurtmore and got DL2 breath, and I was trying to figure out, do I keep doing this and hoping for that, or do I go ahead and do everything else in the world until I get enough HP to survive a DL2 breath? And then by that point, I found the other stuff, so I was taking the guaranteeds before, when I had the coordinates, this is either Death Necklace or armor, so, and then I did a gold grind, actually, when I went to this Swamp Cave to have magic armor ready for the dive into Sharlock. So I had all sorts of contingencies because the armor was the last thing I found. So yeah, getting there first obviously would help out immensely.
Yeah, and unfortunately, didn't quite work that way. Your final dive into Charlock, or I guess it was your first dive into Charlock, Tilo, ran into the armored knight on the first floor there that sapped away a lot of your MP as well. I saw that you had a bag full of fairy water. Were you intending on going down to dive for, grind for 17 on the way and go for it?
I felt with 5 fairy waters and 120 magic, I felt reasonable about my ability to win without needing another level. But given we don't know what's in there, you might lose MP in the process, and once that happens, you may want to go, take something else. So, but without knowing what was in there, I didn't want to, again, I'm playing up against Brian here. I can't sit there and say, well, let me make sure I'm going to be able to handle everything before I go in. Every possibility, when, you never know. Maybe AK-47's not in there. Obviously, one was. And if you actually watched, right before I forfeited, after failing to run from the third time from the third armored knight I found, I started throwing Hurtmores at it and was like, you know what? I'm just going to kill stuff now, get to 17 and pop back. Or I'm going to actually wander to zone 2, see if what's there, and then while killing everything and then pop back out. And hopefully get to level 17 there, because once the armored knight showed up, I was like, yeah, I don't know I'm getting through this with all my MP. But I didn't have to make too much of a decision because I just gotten on the second floor when Brian finished.
Yeah, and speaking of the finish there, Brian Williams, were you thinking at all about a yellow Hurtmore?
Yeah, it was a YOLO Hurtmore. I never count fighting the Dragon Lord because it distracts me from hitting heal more correctly. That time I was counting, and it's like, okay, I need to be ready for that Hurtmore instead of a heal more at the end. But I somehow got 2 doubles out of that fight at 119, which I wouldn't have expected, and the hold A and pray at the very end. It was dicey the whole way. So
Yeah, chat was loving it. We were loving it. It was very close, very exciting, very tense, and you pulled through and finished us off in a very respectable 2 hours and 24 minutes, given the nature of the start, where you pretty much didn't have any items until about 90 minutes in. It seems like.
got that club early.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that club that I had for about an hour and a half.
Yep.
Throwing the Thumpmore out on some of those lower tier enemies. Add the small shield, as our wonderful tracker points out as well.
Yeah, speaking of tracker, thank you to the crew, Aaron and Elmore. I'm sure you did a wonderful job. I'm looking forward to watching it back. And yeah, thanks Schmike and Synth for tracking and restreaming. It was a long race, so thanks for sticking with us, and everyone who got to watch. Hope it was super fun.
Yeah, I'll just echo what Brian said there. I appreciate all of you guys for helping out, and I cannot wait to watch this one back. It sounds like it was going to be a lot of fun.
It was. There was periods where not a lot seemed to be happening because you were just grinding, but it was really good to see the decisions you were making, where you went, and I mean, Tilo, especially in the beginning in that zone, and then later on, brianwilliams42, you found a couple good zones that seemed to work out pretty well for the grinding. So being able to pinpoint those locations, I think, was good for some of the newer runners to see what they could do in situations like this where you're facing a long grind slog of a seed. With that, any final words before we head on out?
Oh, I'm just looking forward to Wednesday or Friday night and doing this again, and maybe Archfield will roll us a little bit gentler of a seed, but I know it's going to be super close again, so I'm excited.
I just need you to go a little easy on me in the second round, because I think Game 3 is very much needed by the community.
It would be a fitting end to this absolutely epic tournament. And I always vote chat, and so chat would win in that situation. So let's see it happen. Aaron2U2, my co-commentator extraordinaire, do you have any last words?
Just thank you, everybody who's been around the tournament. It's been a lovely and pleasure, and the way this works, I think this is me and Elmore's last time chatting here. It's been great. It's an honor to commentate between two great runners, and just to see what you guys did here. There was a lot of things learned. There's a lot of talk and chat today about a lot of small things, which was wonderful to see as well. But I'm looking forward to catching the next race and hoping that you guys be able to put on another great one.
All right. As a reminder, in chat is listed the Twitch links for both of our runners, brianwilliams42, Thilotilo, both great follows. Also, our tracker, just absolutely amazing tracker, keeps up with everything. Schmike listed, myself and Aaron2U2, as well as our restreamer bringing this great action. Give us a follow. You don't need to give me a follow, but give those others a follow. They're prime people. And I think that's it for tonight. So I believe we're heading over to see Apex Corvid, who's got a Final Fantasy Tactics playthrough going that should be exciting to see. But until then, see you all on Friday for Game 2. I am Elmore St. James, with me Aaron2U2, and I'll see you over watching Apex Corvid. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.